It's the Villains Talk Show! Woo! With C4, Zara Vike, Insaniac, Sir Jeremy, and the Great Grease Goblin. Woo! Woo, 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 woo! Hello and welcome to the Villains Talk Show! Today is One Shot Sundays, so it's more like the Villains One Shot Sundays show on Sunday. Hello and welcome, I am C4. As always, I am accompanied by the gorgeous Sarah Vike, the illustrious Insaniac, and the enigmous Sir Jeremy. And we're doing One Shot Sundays. Woo!
Yay!
As always, if you want to be on the show to either play the one shot or be part of the talk part, just comment in the chat and eventually we'll send you a message. Pretty simple. That being said, today is One Shot Sundays and we have a bit of a change. We have Insaniac going to be the DM of the day.
That's very exciting.
I was going to say that's when he says hi.
Hi. We're doing the things and stuff. We're going to be doing a bit of a mechanical drive and showdown, destruction derby of sorts. We're going to start off with everyone just kind of explaining a bit of each character. We can start with anyone's.
I was going to say, do you want to talk about the setting first that you gave us before we tell them our characters?
Well, the setting is a little bit of one driven about a hellscape kind of setting, kind of similar to Descent into Avernus, kind of partway through some of the story, using a bit of inspiration for that and a little bit of drive on the background. Who knows how far we're gonna go, what we're gonna do, but we're gonna explore a bit of it today.
We'll see how long before me or Sarah try to kill each other. Or each other.
We didn't even try to kill each other last time.
Excuse me? I remember hearing.
Wait, yeah, you tried to kill me.
Insaniac! Kill John's character. Oh, Insaniac! Kill C4 character. That's all I remember hearing.
I was just mad he was throwing things at me. Wasn't fair. I didn't do anything to him. You did though.
Well, now John is a happy cook of Baba Yaga. Forever there.
See what happens to our group in hell.
Dun dun dun. But yeah, I guess we'll start with Sarah's character.
No, you always start with me. Start with someone else.
Jeremy's character.
He gets to go on the spotlight first, yeah.
Oh.
Oh.
All right. My character is a complete and total prick. He is a paladin of Bane, the god of order and tyranny, and war. D&D lore actually has them as he has an order of Black Knights. Who are literally just sworn to be assholes across the nation. And my character's name is the Black Bastard.
One and only.
The one and only. Black Bastard of Bane.
Nice.
He wears head to toe, like, black leather, almost very Mad Max. With like chainmail layered over top, screwed right to the leather. He stands about 8 feet tall, and the only exposed flesh are maybe his fingertips and his fingerless driving gloves.
Is he human?
Exposing ashen gray flesh.
Creepy.
Smexy. That's what that sounds like. I guess we'll let Sarah go last then. I'll go next. My character, I'll be honest, I wasn't too creative with my character. They are roughly 6'5" is what I think their dimensions is. That's a good question. Let's look at my little character sheet and see.
Characters.
So he used to be, or you could say he looks like a clown. By looks like a clown, you could say he is not a clown, but has, well, he's about, according to my character sheet, he's about 6'5". He doesn't wear a shirt. He wears, it looks like jean pants. He's got a flaming skull and a painted white face. It's actually not painted white. It's a mask that's chained to his face and red hair coming out the sides. His name was Marcus Kane. His nickname is Needles. He drives an ice cream truck. And he may or may not be the face of Twisted Metal. I guess that leaves Sarah.
All right. My character she's just a human. She's like average height, like 5'4", 5'5", and she's a bard. And she's a singer, but also a guitar player. And she dresses like you would expect to see someone in like a rock metal band dress. She wears a black shirt with some sort of logo on it and ripped jeans and dark shoes. She has the front half of her hair is all bright pink and the back half is black. The only name that she will ever tell you that she has is just B, just the letter. That's me.
B? You're just gonna be?
Mm-hmm.
Your baby.
all the puns that come right to my head.
I'm sure.
Sounds like a weird band.
And in case anyone noticed, there will be no Grease Goblin tonight, so it's just us three.
And
I guess that
see
means
where the night takes us with these exciting challenges that lie ahead of everybody else.
Should be fun.
take her away.
So you find yourself awakened kind of in what appears to be what is a hanging upside down, essentially, in kind of like a cave of sorts of setting, by like chains that are around your body, or wrapped from like shoulder to legs. You don't seem to remember how you got here, and you see what looks like a couple of bags of stuff around, and this large creature that's kind of dancing around in a distance that looks like he's made of like different creatures, like body parts, like all kinds of weird, like different oriented textures and colors on his legs and his arms. Has like almost looks like an esophagus going around his mouth. These giant horns that go around that protrude, kind of like a goat of sorts.
Gross.
And you see two ravens kind of like sitting on like a stick, and they kind of look at you, and they like caw a little bit, and then they start flying back to down a hallway that leads off to like a back barn lit up like a couple of torches. And you see this old lady come walking out, like shuffling like out, and she's got like these like kind of native almost looking robes from the like almost like a shaman kind of style. And she's got this helmet that kind of goes up that has two smaller horns. And she walks up and kind of stares at you, and she's like, "You're awake. Welcome to hell." And she holds up this golden kind of looking elephant with like small tusks, and she says, "Where did you find this? You little dearies. Mad Maggie wants to know."
I thought it'd be warmer down here.
Oh, it gets much warmer out here.
My character just sits and makes no motion.
Well, you're gonna help me. You're gonna tell you you're part of my crew now, and I own you because I found you out in the hills and the desert with this poor little creature.
No, tiny woman. Only one owns my soul.
Oh, I don't own your soul. You're just in my gang for now. We'll see how far that goes.
Your gang.
Gang.
Is it an exciting gang?
Can I like?
He gets down on one. The Black Bastard will get down on one knee, and through his mask, he just kind of grunts. You lead?
Yes, I'm the leader of this group. The Knucklebone Gang. We rule this place with our wonderful machines. But I'm on the lookout for wonderful creatures and things of the archdevil that rules here. Zariel, she's so great, magnificent, glory. Have you heard of her?
No, I have not.
I don't remember much because everything seems kind of hazy. For some reason, you might remember a crash at some point and a lot of fire at some point, but that might be about it.
He shrugs. Devils and demons. Deal with them all the time.
My character, after hearing that, just goes, "Who do I kill?"
Oh, there's many people we want to kill. We're having a challenge of some other warlords coming into fight, and we're going to be gambling over some soul coins. See, the great things that help. The creatures of the damned, they're the currency here, and we're going to make a big some money for us. Well, I find out a little bit more about this little elephant. I have a ritual, you see, that might be able to unlock her memories and show us where I need to go.
I'm just going to kind of stare at her and say, wait,
when you
where
look at the
are
elephant,
we?
that elephant looks like so adorable and so cute and so like innocent. You fall in love almost at sight when you see this elephant.
Are you sure? Because I would probably want to murder it.
Or not you, Sarah.
Oh,
Okay.
what a cute little elephant.
It's like
But
glowing
where
gold.
are we? What's going on? I'm so confused.
Oh, sweetie, you're in hell. You're part of Mad Maggie's crew now.
What am I doing in hell?
Oh, you died probably. I don't know. I
No, I
found you.
didn't. I don't
I found
remember
you out in
dying. Last thing I remember, I was at a concert. I was playing. I was on. Oh, I think I
Yeah.
jumped off the stage.
You're lucky you
That was
remember
probably a
that
bad
much.
idea.
You remember much when they come back from here. Maybe you might have been a different case.
I look at Sarah's character, and it's my head jerks sideways at her character, and just kind of tilts my head and goes, "You have soft skin." Jerks back.
Yes, I do.
I think I'd be
You're-
examining the elephant.
The elephant is like kind of abhorrent in your eyes a little bit. It's like goldly yellow and sickeningly adorable.
It's tiny,
Yes.
but does it look like the little woman could ride it?
Not quite so much. It's smaller than that.
Oh,
Not like much smaller, but like a little bit more.
Then I would grunt in disapproval. Poor mount.
Oh, it's not about. Oh, this used to be a great mount. This mount could done many things back in its day. I don't think it remembers anymore, but I'd like to find out.
Only good for glue now.
We'll see one day. You guys work for me, and I'll show you what this thing could be good for.
You shall use, we keep. If not, I buy.
Do you have any money?
For a good price,
I sell service.
I'll pay you for this. If we win the pot, we'll give you a little bit of some soul coins. If you kill any of the drivers, you're welcome to keep anything from them.
No need for money. You point me in direction.
Oh, this isn't money, sweetie. These are the souls of the damned. This is everything you'll need in hell.
keep your money. Keep your freedom. Give me
They
the
didn't have
souls.
use for coin.
Give me the
You'll
souls.
see.
I don't really
only
want to be in
the
hell. Is there any way to get out of here?
You'll have to find out on your own, sweetie. Right now, you're working for me, and whether you like it or not,
I don't
gonna-
like it.
you're gonna fight some demons and some devils from
Oh,
Mad Maggie.
I guess that could be fun. Maybe they're evil, right?
Oh yes, sweetie, they are very unruly, but we have a bit of a deal with them, and if we win, we take their money, and if we lose, like if they kill you, they get our money. So,
Okay, well, if they're evil, then there's no harm to it. Should be fun.
Oh, I hope does anyone of you have any idea how to drive one of these things? Oh, you probably don't remember much of anything.
As soon as you
Okay.
say that, I start
Immediately, my guy raises his hand.
I
and
start
just, like,
thrashing
waves,
the
like, very
chains.
excitedly.
I
Like,
just
he
start
can't pee,
thrashing.
like he has to pee.
Give me where, and I just yell, "Where's my ice cream truck?"
I don't know what an ice cream truck is, sweetie. And she snaps her fingers, and the chains kind of let go. There's like runes kind of let go around, like to see them flash, and then they release.
I'm gonna shrug. Yeah, I know how to drive.
Do a dex check for me if you guys don't mind, because you're all kind of upside down.
Yeah.
17.
Nice. You land on your feet.
And my hair's on fire.
5.
You probably land on your back.
Uh,
You don't take that much damage. It's not that far up.
12.
12? You land. You do pretty good.
So
I land.
since I land on my feet, I just walk towards her and just put my face down and just like, give me the keys.
I think I just got too excited and tripped over my chainmail, and all you hear is this crash of metal. And then he stands up right away, trying to look really cool, dusting himself off.
As you see this shirtless clown wearing overalls walks over to this old lady and just leans down. His hair's fire. Give me the keys.
She snaps her finger, and you see this like the kind of like giant creature that was dancing, but kind of like and walks over, and she's like, "Mikey, bring me the bag, please." And you see this giant creature kind of lumber over, and he's got like this kind of like looks like a satchel on his chest. It's not very like large, but she pulls her hand into it, and she pulls out what looks like to be 2 like black coins, and she hands them out to you. Said, "These are the keys here, sweetie."
I grab one of them.
The souls of the damned.
I grab one of those black coins, and then I turn around, and you guys watch me as I reach into a bag of holding, and I pull a giant, jagged piece of metal and just kind of keep it by my side. Big, sharp, jagged piece of metal holding this coin. And I look back.
You'll find more for when you kill more of those devils out there, sweetie.
Where's the car?
Oh, there's a garage downstairs. She points over to like the tunnel that she kind of came from.
My character just storms off.
I'll go up to her and say, I need this, and pick up the other one.
Yes, that lets you, when you put that into the vehicle, it starts moving. And you get to operate it through the funny little shenanigans. If you can't drive, I think you might want to go jump with him. He seems to know what he's doing.
I know how to drive. I mean, I don't know if I know how to drive here, but I know how to drive back home.
You should probably stick with him.
I don't really want to stick with him. He's creepy. He told me I have soft skin.
There's a lot of...
And that's when the bastard kind of chuckles. You are soft. And then he, like, continues after and follows.
Follows the clown or just stays there?
Yeah, follows the clown.
Oh, great.
Things are going to be much worse off for you, sweetie. You should just smile and go with it for now, I think.
I'm afraid he's going to eat me.
Everything here is going to eat you, sweetie.
Oh, great.
No, she has a valid fear. Let's just put that out there.
I don't really want to get eaten.
The fact that you haven't been eaten is because I found you with this elephant, and you just look at that thing, and it's so adorable, it's so cute. You just want to.
Can I have the elephant?
Oh, sweetie, you can't have this elephant. This is very important to me. She might wake up later though, and maybe
it might be important to me too.
Well, I'm afraid that's not going to happen right now because you're working for me, and if you see more of this elephant, you're going to have to go race and fight some of those other devils.
Can I pull out my guitar and try to make a persuasion check with my guitar, like singing to her that I want the elephant?
Sure, you can try.
What?
Sure, you can try.
I got a nat 20.
Well, you see, what's your total with your charisma bonus?
My total for 20.
For persuasion.
Yeah, it's 31.
Jesus. Oh wow! All right, hand her a brand new elephant.
Well, seeing as I
Don't
did
worry,
find,
Andrew. I'll eat it. Me and the clown
seeing
will take care of it soon.
seeing as I found you with, seeing as I found you with the elephant, I guess you'll be having probably a better time getting the memories working while I find the ingredients. You know, for now it's a good idea. Just hands you the
Perfect.
elephant.
Perfect. Going towards the car.
You
Well,
bring the
that's a
elephant
good
to
way to
car with
start
us?
it.
Oh yes.
Nat 20. What's your persuasion? 31.
What is this beast? What do we come upon?
So you guys walk down the stairs, and you come across what looks to be like a large kind of like scrap heap of like many different jagged pieces of metal and like broken pieces of rubber and glass and stuff like that. And as you're coming down, you see Sarah come down with this thing.
I kind of ignore Sarah and I look at the guy beside me.
Excuse me, there is no Sarah here. I'm B.
Sorry, I ignore B and I look at the guy beside me in the leathers and I pull out my jagged piece of metal and I draw a really crude drawing of a giant car and I write ice cream in the middle of the box and I look at him and say, "Find that." And then I just
He looks at you, and you get this like dark aura that emanates from him. I'm lactose intolerant.
And then I grab your chest and pull you close and say, "It's not for you."
Sounds like the worst wrestling
Make
like
a
group.
wisdom save.
This sounds like a wrestling like group.
I'm probably not gonna pass this.
Stone Cold versus The Rock.
What is my wisdom? My wisdom's shit.
I haven't revealed what kind of paladin I am.
I rolled a 4.
You are feared.
Okay.
I just become the most terrifying thing you've ever seen. And your speed becomes 0, and you take 4 damage at the start of every round in range.
Ooh.
Wow.
Aura of Conquest. I am a
That's
Conquest
cool.
paladin.
That's actually awesome.
Channel Divinity
Oh!
is Conquering Presence.
You're within 10 feet of me. You take 2 fire damage. Because I'm a
That's fine.
I'm a Storm Herald.
I'm
I
okay with
take
that.
the elephant and I walk around you two
So
attacking
you go to
each other.
grab me, and I just become the most terrifying thing you've ever seen.
He just lights on
Once
fire. He just
I
lights
think
on fire.
Sarah, immediately you would see this dark aura just kind of emanate out from me. It goes out about 30 feet, so I don't know if you want to enter that.
Yeah, no, not at all. I'm just gonna
And then
walk
you see
around.
the
guys.
clown like terror and fear in front of me. And then I
He lights
immediately
himself on fire.
laugh, pathetic clown, and I start to walk for our car, look for our car.
I'd be pissed and walk away. Like,
I'm a
"Arr."
main paladin. We're assholes.
I'm going to go look for my ice cream truck. How do I do that?
Okay, roll perception checks, everybody.
Damn right of roll perception.
Is there a
checks.
person down here I can talk to be like, hey,
So since you're looking for a person,
my presence would immediately recede too, like the second I turned and like walked past him. Don't touch me.
I feel like you guys go off in separate directions.
Yeah,
Like,
I just immediately walk right past him, as if he's like he's non-existent anymore.
I feel
Before
like
he
John
was a
walks away.
terrifying clown, and now he is cowered before me. So I just walk by him and I just start to look for our car.
18 on my perception.
He still got our keys, but I'm looking for our car.
I got an 18 on perception for looking for something that looks like an ice cream truck.
Okay, Jeremy, what is your perception?
I am terrible at this too. That's a 7.
7. All right, cool.
I think I'm too busy laughing.
Yeah, you're like, wow, I can't believe I pulled that out of it so easily. And John, you as you wander off, you find like a couple of like large scrap heaps. You find what looks to be like a smaller broken kind of car. It seems to like be kind of in working order, but it looks like there's a few parts that are kind of missing. not quite an ice cream truck, but
Can I use mending to kind of fix up what's there, or do I need to?
it looks like there's some pieces missing, but you can like mend some smaller wires together. I guess there's not much that you can fix.
So I was gonna
that
say,
wire.
I would mend. I would first.
It looks like you need better equipment to be able to do that. To some degree, you can do that with certain things. Not like it's not enough that's really gonna make it work. It looks like it's missing stuff too.
Wait, how big is this car? Sedan,
It's
SUV.
pretty large. It's like almost it's I think it's huge. It's like a bigger car that you've seen before, and it's got like rotary kind of like blades that are like half twisted off the side of its wheels, and it looks like some kind of like arrow like harp like kind of ballista hanging off the front of the window. And the windows are like slotted kind of like
Can I
in between, and it's like jagged metal going up the side of this car.
Can I roll a strength check to try and drag this thing out?
What's your size?
What?
Medium? You're a medium-sized creature, right?
I am.
You can try to roll a strength check.
I get advantage on strength checks.
Let's say if
Your
he
rating?
starts dragging that thing, I'm just gonna come over in one hand. I have powerful build. I'm a Goliath.
I was gonna say, I think what's gonna happen here is if you're gonna show him up eventually, because he.
I'm not even gonna show him up. I'm just gonna walk over. I'm gonna grab it, and he's gonna grab one side, and we're just gonna drag it along.
It's true.
Because
But
I don't.
he
I might
went
not
off-
hear it right away. I'm still looking. Yeah, exactly. It'll be
Yeah.
the dragging of the scraping of metal that I might.
Yeah,
notice.
you'll notice.
But
a
I
bit
do
later.
get advantage, so I will roll a strength check.
If you're raging, I think, if what it is.
I would rage. Are you kidding me? I just got intimidated by some fucking punk. I'd be like, I'd look at this
Right.
thing and just go all of a sudden clown angry mode and be like,
I've got chainmail pants too, by the way.
It starts to
Like
smell
that's
like
how far
burning hair.
it's gone down.
what?
It's like
smell
black
burnt
leathers
hair.
from head to toe. That includes like a helmet. I have a black leather helmet with chainmail over.
But yeah, no, I would totally rage. Are you kidding me? He's a fucking angry asshole, motherfucking murderous clown who just got.
I'm gonna be honest. It's even with advantage. It's pretty fucking heavy.
Well, no
So-
shit. I'm an angry
'Cause
clown.
it's two sizes larger than you.
Yeah.
And what? Yeah. Okay.
Are you telling me no or yes? Because I got
Yeah.
plus.
You can roll.
I have
you can
plus
roll.
6 to athletics.
It's just a strength check.
Okay. I still
No
get
athletics,
advantage.
Yeah. You do.
7. We're not keeping that one. 16 plus 3 is 19.
You try really hard and your muscles and you feel like this thing is way beyond your strength capabilities. It's like what
They're
feels
not even
like
close.
All right.
it feels
then,
like 3,000 pounds.
then I give up and I start looking for a machine gun to put on it.
And I'll say I just rolled a 7 on my perception check, so I think I'm just gone.
Yeah, well, because while he's doing that, Sarah finds what looks to be a kenku, kind of like standing on top of a pile, kind of looking around and looking for parts and throwing stuff out. And
Perfect.
And,
I'm gonna ask him what's the best thing you've got here that will fit me and this elephant. I just want whatever is best.
Oh well, best thing for you and the elephant, huh?
Yep, best thing
thing.
for me and the elephant.
Mostly say over there. Good zoom bike.
Good
And
zoom zoom bike.
You can see like the feather kind of like point out, but boss lady, angry steal things.
Boss lady angry steal things. I don't understand what you mean. She's angry if I steal things? Or she
Like
gets
shakes his
angry
head,
and steal things?
it shakes his head when he said the first one.
She gets angry and steals things?
She gets angry when people steal things.
Okay.
Kind of get what you first said.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a kenku, so you realize that it's got kind of like limited speech based off of.
Yeah. Well, she gave me a key. Is that okay?
Oh, yeah. He can make go full power zoom.
Full power zoom. I like that. I like full power zoom. Well, I guess I'll go take that one then. And I walk over in the direction he's pointing.
And that one, he kind of points off to kind of where the big guy looks like he stumbled off a little bit too for a second, but he's kind of looking in your direction now that he is kind of like got a little wandered off from the clown.
I'm gonna ignore the big guy.
Jeremy, you kind of noticed this conversation. You weren't that far away.
Yeah.
But you see the bird pointing in that direction for a bike.
Oh, nice. 21 on perception. I completely ignore the conversation like it didn't happen and walk in that direction like I intended to.
Okay.
I just tried that way confidently.
Yeah, you kind of when you start heading off that way, you start to see what looks to be like this fairly large vehicle with like large cylinder wheels. You might kind of have heard about it if you don't quite remember too much from going through the River Styx once. But you get up to it and there's like this good, like jagged kind of metal in the front of it. It looks like the top kind of part that goes over the wheel looks like almost like the front face of a helmet with a giant large spike in the front. It looks like it fits about one person, but it looks like other things can kind of hold on to it.
Two-wheeled?
It's two-wheeled, yes.
Fine horse.
Yeah, you touch it and it's like cold kind of steel.
If I use really fine steed, would it glow?
Roll an Arcana check. Let's see.
Or can I link this to my find steed?
Yeah, we'll see on the Arcana check.
All right.
I like the idea of it. It does sound cool. I'm unsure to some degree, but I like the idea of it.
Oh no, not at all. This thing is completely out of my.
Yeah, since you went through the River Styx, it's a little hard to kind of gauge to it. You feel like there could be some kind of like dark kind of connection to it, but you don't quite remember how all of your magic works right now. You're just having a tough time.
My guy is also average intelligence, but he's really good at his magic. He just doesn't quite know how it works.
Yeah, he's just having a moment.
Right, it was blessed upon him. It just works when he needs it.
Yeah. Maybe now's not the time. Who knows?
Yeah, right. He waves his hand over the bike, and it doesn't glow, and you hear this like, and then he kind of runs his hand over the bike lovingly, and then I don't know, maybe starts to look around to see if he can add
Sarah
things to the bike.
I think is walking up at this point towards the bike.
Yes, I am.
With the elephant in hand.
Do I assume that this is the bike that the Kenku was pointing towards?
Yeah, it looks pretty. The only thing that has like working wheels that are like around. Everything else kind of looks like broken scrap for the most part. That's around here. Nothing too like together. Just sheets of metal.
Well, I'm gonna look at the big guy and I'm gonna say, I want this one.
Sidecar or back?
The front, personally.
Do I see a sidecar?
No. It looks like it only has really a seat for one, and then it looks like maybe you could like strap a person to the side, or like large bags, maybe, or like there's a bar kind of at the back, like that you could kind of hold onto, but it's not really safe. It's kind of like jagged metal.
I'll take the front. I'm gonna take the bar at the back.
By front, you mean bars, right?
No, I don't. I mean.
I see only room for me.
I see only room for me. I'm gonna pull out my guitar and I'm gonna try to persuade him to let me take it.
Okay, what kind of tune are you playing for this dark evil paladin?
Probably a bit of a dark evil tune with a really heavy beat and really quick. And I'm singing. I'm almost yelling as I'm singing about how this bike is going to be mine.
So I have the background of Wanderer. One of my bonds is friends with the Fae, and I am a paladin, so I have extra bonuses to my saves.
Yeah, you gotta do. Well, I'd say probably an insight, unless she has a specific.
I'm willing to straight up save check. I'm okay with that. Just so she knows what she's working against.
I mean, it's not it's not quite a magical effect.
You
It's
do
just
also
like
just hear that I have plus 11 though.
she's just trying to woo you with her songs, so it's not like.
I mean, it might work.
A little, maybe. There's only so much you can persuade another character, you know.
Oh, I have only 2 really good stats, and the rest were dumb stats.
Well, Sarah's performance.
It's so good.
All right, shall we try it? My persuasion is 24.
Jeez. All right.
That's not even a great roll.
It has to be like pretty high to persuade him, I'd say.
I got a 22.
Oh.
I mean, yeah, a little persuasive. I wouldn't say like compellingly so. The performance is pretty good, but at the same time, you know, it's like an agent of like goodness. You can tell, and you're just like, they're all supposed to sound good, so it's like, you know,
Heard this one, like it, not the best.
I would really like this bike, buddy.
That sounds like
I have a key. I have the elephant. You sure you're not willing to give it up for me?
Elephant for bike.
You look at the
I'm
elephant,
keeping the
and
elephant.
it's just like really horrible. It's so repulsive, and you just don't even want it on a bike.
Oh, interesting. That's why you wanted to know our alignment, isn't it?
Oh, there's a little bit more.
Oh.
Do I see another bike? I got a 23 on perception.
You kind of look over a bit of the way, and it looks like there's this large kind of vehicle that looks kind of a little bit more broken. It looks almost like 3 times the size of the car, but there's like 2 large wheels in the front kind of together, and like larger wheels kind of in the back. It looks like it could hold a lot of people.
He looks over. Room for one. And he laughs as he walks over. You keep like, I found something better.
Thank you. Well,
Yeah.
first thing I'm gonna look for is a way to strap in the elephant.
So, John, you kind of heard that song kind of going off a little bit of how I want the bike and you're gonna give it to me, and I really want to go driving through hell.
My character would not care. He's just trying to find a machine gun and parts to fix it. That's all he cares about.
Well, give me a perception check, I guess, or an investigation check.
Investigation?
Yeah.
22.
You do look around and you see what looks to be kind of like parts of what could be like it looks like a large kind of nozzle, but it's like jagged and kind of metal corrupt. It doesn't quite look like
I put it in the bag of
machine
holding.
gun.
I just
It's
shove it
pretty
in the
large.
bag.
You can't quite. It's not. It wouldn't fit in the like bag holding. It looks like it's supposed to be like almost mounted on a vehicle at the side.
Well, then I'd bring it over and I'd put it beside the vehicle. I would...
Roll a strength check.
Am I still raging?
No, it ends after 6 seconds if you haven't taken damage. You'd have to rage again.
Or do damage, yeah.
18 plus 3, so 21.
It's pretty hard to move. You drag it a little bit, but it doesn't move very far.
Okay.
You'd probably need help to probably get it to where you need it. You do hear a bit of shuffling around, and if you look up, you see this little bird that's kind of digging through some shit and throwing some gears around.
Oh, good. Mechanic.
It does look kind of like a mechanic. It has clothes on, but it looks like it's looking through just the random shit in this crowd.
I would just be like, bird!
And it just kind of looks at you and goes, "Ah!"
I need parts. Help me fix it.
And it just kind of looks over and then it starts heading towards one of its other over the hills, and it kind of waves at you.
I'd follow it, not say anything.
You got to do, if you want, you're gonna be climbing up kind of the scrap hill, or you can go around it. It's up to you.
What would Sweet Tooth do?
That's up to you. You're Sweet Tooth right now, I guess.
Yeah. As long as I could see the bird, I'd probably walk around it.
Okay, yeah, you see him kind of head that way anyway, so you can, you know, if you go around, you can kind of pretty much
I
head the
just
same
walk
direction.
around. By the way, I've
Alright,
never put away my weapon. My weapon's always in my hand at my side.
that's okay. This is hell. I'm sure they're kind of used to it. You do like notice that you're kind of in like a cavern of sorts, and there's like you're not like out in like an open kind of scrap area, like you're kind of underground, kind of. Just so you're aware of like
Mm-hmm.
the situational areas.
Yeah.
When you head over that way, you see what looks like another bird kind of digging through some stuff, and he heads over to him and he kind of like throws one of the gears at him, and he just kind of like, "What? Boss lady says work fast."
Can I yell at the other bird and be like, "You! I need a gun."
And we fix cars. Boss lady say fix which car?
And then I get close to him and stick my face right in his and says, "Then get fixing."
Which car? Car.
But I'd look for, because I'm a seasoned driver of ice cream trucks. I feel like I would be able to at least look for some of the parts I would need.
Yeah, so you did kind of notice there was like kind of like parts of like say battery and like part of certain parts of connections for the wheels. Um, there's a couple other things missing. I'm not really a very mechanical sort, so I Hellscape has a kind of like different setting for how their vehicles work. It's a little more tuned than what you're mechanically sorted to.
Okay.
But you can look around.
I would for A, a machine gun that I can put on top of it, and B, parts to fix it.
Okay.
In that
Jeremy,
order.
you kind of get over to um, the larger
massive vehicle.
this larger vehicle, and you notice that there are chunks of this vehicle that seem to be inoperable when you try to look over into it. It looks like there's some like hand shifters that are kind of broken out, and there's a few kind of like windows that are like offset, and it looks like it's missing like mounts for what could be a couple of weapons. But it looks like it doesn't. It's fully like it could work, but there's stuff not all together.
My guy's vision of this thing is to just throw some big fucking spikes on it and plating.
Okay.
Like basic as hell. Right? I just want something to run things over.
Yeah, you can look around if you like for some different types of lighting.
He would smile at that, and then immediately he'd walk back to the Kenku, and I would point at him, and I'd be use command fix.
You come around the corner to see the clown is currently yelling at the Kenku right now, and he just
I ignore the clown.
He just kind of finished.
No,
he just finished screaming at him, but yeah.
I know the clown is yelling at him too, right? But I ignore the clown. The clown is cowered before me already, so I pointed at the Kenku he's now yelling at, and I use command so everybody like hears me shout, and I get this like dark aura emanates from me again, right? And fix, and it just echoes out of me.
What's your DC?
DC 12. Yeah.
12?
Yeah.
He doesn't beat it. He got an 11.
Nice.
Nice.
Yeah.
Ugh.
So he just kind of like he just looks kind of like all freaked out, and the other bird's just like, and he says, "Stop squawking around, bro. We gotta get going." And they start heading over to the way that you kind of point, I'm guessing, of sorts.
Yeah, I point straight at that big vehicle, and as he starts coming, I just hold my finger and I just like stomp towards the vehicle and just stare at him expectantly.
And you see the other bird as they go over there. The other one splits off towards the car and starts kind of like doing shit, while the other one is looking over the one that you pointed at.
Would I see that? See the other Kenku DVD?
You would see him kind of like head that way, but if you were kind of looking for a weapon, depends on your check, I'd say.
Perception?
Yes.
Uh-oh.
Because you were kind of looking off in a different direction.
Roll another d20.
What did you get?
11.
11. You didn't quite see what was going on. You didn't see that guy go off towards the car. You just kind of heard all the commotion going down, but you were too focused on finding a weapon, I'd say.
Because that Kenku was about to die if I saw him.
Fair enough.
Sweet tooth.
I mean, I would have just started laughing.
Yeah, that makes sense. I figured.
I mean, we'll see how things progress as time goes on, so...
I would have just...
Kenkus they're not even a race in my book. That's like, he's just a subspecies, and if they repair things... Oh, no, you're a minion to me. Work.
That's what they're here. That's kind of what they're here for. So you kind of look around for what looks like it could be pieces of a firearm, but not really like a whole one, I'd say. Of what looks probably like the one what you're used to is probably a pistol.
I'm listening. I just lost my dice. It rolled on the ground to death.
What tool proficiencies do you have?
What tool proficiencies I have?
Yeah.
Let's read my character. I'm an artillerist, so I have our proficiencies with all firearms and magical cannons.
Do you have proficiency with, like, say, smith tools or tinker tools or anything like that? You only have proficiency at fire?
Tool proficiencies. I have thieves' tools, tinker's tools, woodcarver's tools, and gunnery tools. These are all they just come with it.
Alright, well, you can roll a tinker's check to kind of, which is an intelligence check to kind of see if you can figure out how to put the pieces together.
Yes.
And identify what's needed.
I'll take an intelligence check.
Sarah, you're kind of moving this motorcycle of sorts, I'm sure, to probably like a gateway of areas where you're like, I'm good with this. Like,
18.
Or do you want to do anything else?
I'm looking for something to strap the elephant down with.
I got an unnatural 20. I got 18 plus 2.
So you managed to get a number of things together, but you can't seem to find like a small kind of like pin that you're like the firing pin of sorts that you're gonna need. Something small and like thin and delicate like that. Can't seem to find right now. But you got pretty much everything together. You just can't seem to fire the weapon.
I'm also gonna take a look at my motorcycle, my bike, and look for, like, does it have any weapons? What does it have? Can I put any weapons on it? Stuff like that.
It doesn't look like it quite has any weapons, but it looks like it could be very maneuverable. Or, say, if someone... roll a bit of an intelligence check for me, as you look over the vehicle, kind of.
Intelligence. Let's see. 17.
So you kind of look it over and you realize that you figure out what the controls a little bit. You're not too proficient, but you're kind of like understanding.
I don't know how I did it, but somehow I am proficient in land vehicles.
Are you? Okay. Well,
yeah.
Even better.
I don't know why.
So, what's your proficiency then to add to that?
3.
3. So 20 then.
How?
Oh.
Like, seriously, how?
Nice.
I don't know.
What
That's
did
perfect. So you kind of have
really
some kind of, I don't know what your background is, but you kind of have some history with vehicles of sorts. You don't quite remember how you are because you've kind of lost a bit of your memory, but you just something about this just seems really familiar, easy to figure out.
Perfect.
You learn that the car kind of the setting the movement on the vehicle is kind of set so once you have the vehicle moving, you can still kind of do other weapons or attacks or things while the thing is in motion unless you want to change its direction. So it's kind of like you can kind of take a guess that it's kind of oriented to someone who can do like ranged or something that can use that kind of ability while on the back of the motorcycle and be agile.
Perfect. Well, then I'm gonna look for some ranged weapons. Preferably guns, I suppose.
Sure. Take a perception check.
What?
Take a perception check around. Or an
15,
investigation check, actually. One or the other.
15 per perception.
Okay. You look around. You can't quite seem to find what you would see as wieldable weapons, but you do notice a handful of like larger weapons that seem to be like set up for vehicles or things like that. And some of them look pretty like scary. Like you see like what looks like to be like almost like a shrunken kind of like person that has their skin all peeled back and their face drawn across and there's like runes all over their skin. It's really terrifying for a character like hers to be here and see that kind of thing.
Sounds terrifying. Do I see any weapons that I think I could attach to the bike?
Not quite any that I think you're looking for.
Well, that's a problem. I guess I'll keep looking.
So the Kenku starts kind of getting your truck kind of working a bit, and you notice that the other bird has been coming a little bit back and forth with different smaller parts from a different area that you saw him traveling before.
Okay.
And, you look around, and it looks like there's the bird that you're commanded is pulling. He's kind of gone off and started pulling off. Pulled back what looks to be like a gold plate, and then looks to be like a furred kind of like thick metal plate. And he says, "Oh, which one? Gold or cold?"
Cold.
Cold, okay. Cold it is. Going on a wild trip. And starts dragging back off the gold one to put it away. And he starts putting on this like colder armor that makes it like pretty much makes your vehicle resistant to cold and cold conditions.
He smiles because one of Bane's thing is like a black talon hand with like an icy touch. It's like one of his deals, right? Mm-hmm. So I smile and be proud.
Get him feel like Bane. Very faithful. You do notice that it looks like it's still kind of missing weapons around. And right now the one bird is focusing on trying to get the armor going. It looks like there's.
What do I see?
There's like two kind of affixtions that are like missing in the floors close to the driver's seat near the front, kind of like. So it's kind of like a big, large kind of metal cage that goes out with different like sidings in between. And there's 3 seats. One is the driver's seat with a bunch of like levers of sorts. And there's 2 what looks to be almost seats, but like circular affixtions to the ground that looks like they could have consoles of sorts.
Okay. Does that mean I need other driver or need people to activate that thing?
They look like they could hold probably similar seats like yourselves, like the one driver seat has.
So I think the bird's probably doing something. I walk over to one of the other birds, grab him by the scruff of the collar, and pick him up, no matter what he's got in his hand. And I just look at him. Other bird, he drive.
And he just drops the gear.
And I shake him violently. Bird, he drive. I grunt and I just chuck the bird aside, and I immediately go to find the bird that was working on my car.
The bird kind of like lands but tumbles a little bit as you like walk away, and you go find the one that was doing the other one, and he's putting on the cold armor. He's got a good chunk of it on, but not quite all of it, like halfway or sorts.
Bird, you drive.
No, mechanic, work on cars. You fix it.
He shrugs. And then I think I'm going to go walk over to see what the clown is doing on his car and kind of at the same time peruse the garage and see what I might be able to fix to my truck.
Okay, yeah, totally.
That is a 6 perception. I am distracted as hell.
Yeah,
I think this mask is just so tight on my face I can't see shit.
you're too busy like realizing that you're surrounded by stupid birds that just can't help you right now. Aside from like their limited like intelligence, and it's just frustrating. It's
Like,
like,
I'll see what the clown's doing with his vehicle and his disgusting truck.
and John is like trying to fix the gun together, and he kind of gets pistol working. What else did you want to do, John?
Well, I want obviously my car fixed, but once it looks like it's starting to get fixed, what he would come see is either me working on a gun or me with like a giant, looks like a crude made bowl out of steel, and it looks like I'm mixing something together.
So before you get a chance to, when you go over to inspect your vehicle, it looks like it's kind of a little bit more like broken down. It looks like it's missing more pieces than it was before.
Okay. Are these pieces matter to how it drives?
Yes.
I was gonna say, in the time I'm standing here watching the vehicle, is this bird stealing parts from his car to mine?
It looked like it was that way, yeah.
I immediately begin laughing. Clown, you drive with me.
I'd look at you and say, I'll shoot the guns. You drive the car.
I smile, like you can, like he does that puffed out chest, like you might not be able to see his face, but his chest kind of puffs, and his chin like pops up a little bit. I drive.
I immediately go and murder a Kenku.
Oh my goodness.
While he's watching me, and then I start taking the blood and start
I
painting.
make sure that that's not the one working on the putting on the
Oh,
cold
yeah.
armor.
No,
if
it's the one that
one, then I just.
No, it's the one that was working on my car. The one that I
You
had.
murder the Kenku?
So he like comes over and starts peeling parts off your car. Do you slaughter him?
No, the one that's working on the one that was working that I was working with.
That was that one. That was
Yeah.
He wasn't even working on your car. He didn't have much of a chance to.
Oh, well, I
He was
go up
looking for parts, and then all of a sudden he got jumped by the other guy too.
Is once the Goliath does that, Sweet Tooth just turns, goes to the Kenku that was working on the car I picked. I literally
roll a perception check. Just look for him.
19 plus 2, 21.
You kind of like notice what looks to be like small feathers hiding behind like a car.
Sorry,
not so much
plus
hiding, but
3
like
is 22.
just like he looked like he got thrown over there.
I got 22 for perception. It's plus 3, not plus 2.
Yeah, like it looks like a broken down kind of like scrap of car that was like fucked up before. There doesn't really seem to be much anything usable with plates.
I wouldn't care.
Like
Sit on the ground. I would go over to where that Kenku is, and I would just murder him.
Right.
I would look for him. I would cut him open, and then I would drag his carcass over to the car that the Goliath's working on, and I would
attack. Calm your shit down.
If I'm using an attack, I'm using. I'd probably use
he starts to approach his Kenku angrily. I walk over and I put my hand on his shoulder, and at first it might seem like I'm going to stop you, but at first I'm uttering something under my breath, and then I look at you like very excitedly. May Bane bless your strikes, and I bless him.
Oh my goodness.
Okay. Sweet.
This is like all within my god's domain. Like this is what I want to see.
I rolled a 17. I rolled a 17 to hit.
So I guess the two of us, because it's 3 creatures.
17 hits.
Does it?
You have attack roll or saving throw before the spell ends. Target can add a D4 to your.
Sick. D4. All right. So I'm going to attack then, and I hit, and I do a total of. That's 15? 15 slashing?
He takes it, but he doesn't seem like dead from the first hit. You see him kind of he he has, as you kind of attacked him, he had pulled out a warhammer to defend himself, but he managed to kind of knock it down before he really managed to get it up.
Before I give him a chance to do anything,
You can roll
he
initiative
also
if you
takes
want.
2 fire damage from being within 5 feet of me, or 10 feet of me.
Did you rage? Or is it constant? I don't quite remember.
No, you're right. It's when you rage. Never mind on that. All right. Yeah. No, I just slash. I tried to fucking just murder him.
Do some damage.
As my non-action, I yell while I do it. You're useless.
And it like tries to swing his warhammer at you. Misses.
What do you roll?
The other brother kind of notices, and he's like, "Oh, what is going on? Boss, save fix car." While that was fixing up the big, large truck.
What size is these Kenkus?
Medium.
Perfect. When I get another
mechanics.
I'm gonna use catapult.
Okay, what are you throwing? It's catapult.
The Kenku.
Check that spell quick, because it sounds like a stretch.
It's a medium. You said it's a medium-sized creature. I can throw anything medium or smaller.
You choose one object weighing between 1 to 5 pounds.
Is it 1 to 5?
No,
Yeah,
definitely not.
and it's one object, not a creature.
Yeah, it'd be an object.
If the object would hit a creature, then it has to make a dex save.
Choose an object wing range. All right. Well, then I'm just gonna use acid splash on this bastard.
Okay, which one? The one that you had already before, or?
Yeah, because I'm just killing this one. I need it.
Okay.
I would yell at the other one, "Stay out of this! I need him for parts." And
I
then
feel like you vomit on this guy.
Yeah, pretty much.
It's like comes out of his mask.
How does acid splash work?
Dex save, I think. What's your DC? 13.
They must succeed a dexterity saving throw.
Yeah. What's your DC?
My DC?
Your DC.
Spell DC 13.
They just pass. So he manages to dodge out of the way. As you throw up on the ground beside him. Spells acid everywhere.
I just start laughing. Like, this clown is still kind of a clown to me, and now he first strike was great. I mean, Bane blessed it. That's why he struck. Now Bane has no blessing. And I'm just laughing at these two creatures fumbling, trying to hit each other.
Yeah, so the Kenku is going to try to roll.
The Kenku swings at you.
Kenku swings this
try to
time.
puke on him.
My goodness.
I'm like,
This is horrifying.
this is hilarious.
He gets.
Clown, get angry. Maybe you kill.
7 bludgeon damage and 4 fire damage.
Sorry, what did he roll to hit?
He rolled a 24.
Okay, that hits.
Yeah, so 8 bludgeon damage and 4 fire damage.
Just okay.
You feel this burning warhammer hit you, almost like sears your skin as you're not wearing a shirt. Like square kind of plate. It's like on your like
that
your
tickles. I have 86 health points. Okay, that just tickles.
Oh, I know. Your turn, I guess.
I just stab him.
Okay, go for it.
Hey then.
You're gonna roll with disadvantage because the other Kenku is gonna jump on your face as you try to attack.
Insaniac, can I see this?
No, you're on the other side of the junkyard.
Yeah, you're like on the other side of the
You're
garage.
like, you're
That's
like, all
probably
right,
for the
I'm gonna take this bike and we're gonna go elephant, and like the elephant starts waking up for you actually, and you start
Oh,
talking with the elephant.
lovely.
And the elephant is just so adorable, and she's like,
Um,
oh my gosh, like I'm so happy to meet you. I've been having such a hard time down here. I'm so lost.
That's so funny.
Well, I'm glad that I've got you now. I saved you from some weird
Thank
lady.
you. You're the nicest person I've met down here. Everybody's been so rude, so mean,
Is there-
and helpful.
Oh, well, I'm glad. I'll always help you. You're so cute.
Thank you. I knew you would help me. You were gonna help me before, but then like there was this giant explosion and there's water.
I'm gonna make it
everywhere.
a straight
I
roll.
was going to help you before?
Yeah, I think you. I don't remember much before that though. But,
I don't remember that at all. You've met me before?
yeah, my name's Lulu.
I've never met you before. Not that I can remember.
Oh, well, we get to be new friends all over again. I'm Lulu.
I'm B.
Hi, B. It's nice to meet you. And you see this like elephant starts like flapping his little tiny wings that he's got on his shoulders. They're like smaller than his body should be able to hold up.
Well, Lulu, I think we're gonna
Golden,
be going on a bit of an
little,
adventure here.
elephant.
I don't know.
Adventures. This is a scary place. What are we doing here?
I don't know. I think we're killing things. I don't
Um,
really like it, but I mean, maybe it'll be fun. They're evil, so it's okay, right?
I guess if it's evil, it makes sense. I guess.
Yeah. I'm just looking for like some guns or some weapons. Do you see anything useful here?
Why do we need weapons to fight these people? We're good. We're strong without them, right?
Well, what are we going to use to fight them otherwise? I mean, I've got some spells, but weapons would be easier.
Well, we gotta fight them by ourselves.
There's a clown and a big thing, but they're kind of scary themselves. I don't really trust them.
They're scary. Maybe they could fight scary things.
Yeah, but then what if they decide that we're not doing enough and they get mad at us?
Well, that's also a good point, I guess.
Yeah. You sure are a cute elephant.
Oh, thank you. You're so nice too. I'm so happy I met you, even though this is a really bad place and I don't know what's going on.
Well, we're just gonna have to keep looking for some weapons.
Well, yeah, okay, you lead the way. I'll try to keep my eye out. And you guys spend time looking around for weapons. You can roll a nation check up. John, what did you say?
I rolled an 18 twice. I think I hit.
You do.
And I rolled my damage. I did 14 slashing.
Oh. Alright, that kills him.
As soon as he dies, I pick up the corpse and start walking away.
Is its blood black?
It doesn't look like it, no. It looks like it's red.
I'm very disappointed.
Sarah, what did you roll for investigation check?
21.
21. Okay. Well, you look around. You do kind of find your way into what looks like a side room with what looks to be kind of like a armory of sorts, but it's not. A number of things seem to be kind of locked off with these metal cages, but you see what looks to be a couple of bags that are kind of sitting there.
I guess I reach into the bags.
You open the bags and they look like the stuff that you guys kind of started with of sorts, but it looks like your weapons they're like silvered kind of weapons. There's like a silver short sword, and there's a couple other different weapons lying around. Not just yours, but there's a couple other bags. There's like 5 other bags.
Cool. I'll open some more bags and see what there is.
You seem to find like some food and some water. You find what looks like a bag of like this green, like blackish liquid in like different bottles, like about 3 or 4 of them. The
Cool.
other ones look like there's 2 that are empty, and a couple other ones that seem to have like leather armor, and one that looks to be what looks to be like pieces of metal that are kind of like broken apart and put together, but it looks like it could be a weapon of sorts. With like the right kind of tools.
Okay, well, I'm gonna take all of that. Are there any like guns?
You can only carry
I would
so
like-
many things to some
I
degree.
would carry as many of them as I can and shove them onto my bike.
Well, you can start loading them up. You can probably take like 3 at a time.
I will take the one
You
with
can always
food.
you can always ask Lulu to take one if you want to.
Yes, I will take one with food, one with weapons, and the one with the weird green things. And then I'll get Lulu to take one of the other ones.
Okay. Lulu, pick up whatever one you want to pick up.
Maybe the one with the weird weapon that I can't quite figure out.
She picks it up. It's a little. She looks like it's a little heavy for her, but she's got it.
Oh, good.
Like kind of fluttering up and down a little bit. Like, I can do it. It's a little heavy, but I'm strong.
You're a good elephant, Lulu.
Oh, thank you. You're so nice. I am so happy we're good friends.
So
Me
glad.
too.
So glad I'm not in that group.
Yeah, I know. All right.
Would have murdered both of them by now.
So,
I'm so glad I'm not in your group.
By the way, I take.
traveling closer to the bastard, Jonathan, you can see I wear like a black leather necklace, like a thong, and it's got a dragon talon on it.
I'd look
It's
at
like,
it
almost like a choker.
and I
You see
just
him walking
like.
off with the other bird, like on his kind of back of sorts, but he doesn't seem to really like care that the bird is there, and he's like the one that was kind of working on your armor for your car.
Yeah, I'd ignore the other Kenku. I would just start ripping up his brother and start painting, literally in blood, ice cream on the side of the car he's working on.
Oh my goodness.
I dip just my hand in blood, so
You
it
see
covers
him-
just my hand, and I do a palm print on the front of our truck, and I bless our vehicle with the sign of Bane.
Okay.
By the way, I spell ice cream.
Roll-
That's
religion
actual
check.
Bane's, his Bane sign with the open palm, and he's got another
Oh my God.
those four fingers. But I want to do the open palm.
Just so we're
Okay,
clear.
Yeah, roll a religion check for me. And,
He doesn't write ice.
John, you feel like what looks like a mosquito, kind of like poking at your
Yeah.
back with what like it is a dagger, but you can't. It doesn't seem
I
to
wrote
really-
it
I
in
am the
Discord.
worst paladin in that sense because I have a +0, but I rolled a 17, so
Oh, not
I
bad.
think Bane is with me.
Yeah, you feel like that dark kind of sense of like dread with
but-
you, kind of in a sense you feel most comfortable.
So the way I guess that would work is our vehicle gets a +4 or D4 to its first attack or save.
And I get advantage for being a gunner, because I have gunner. I'm an artillerist.
And then I go off to see what's happening with the bike, just like I did with the clown truck.
But yeah, just so we're clear, it says ice scream,
You,
not ice
as you're
cream.
kind of like finished blessing it, you notice the Kenku mechanic is like on the clown's back trying to stab him with a dagger, but he's just like can't seem to do it. As
I turn, I'll be like, "You busy? I'll be back."
Well, they only got half the armor on.
Oh, no.
Just so we're clear, I would eventually stop, because I would notice the Kenku eventually. I rolled a 20 on perception. And I would stop after I painted ice scream, and I wouldn't turn to the Kenku and I'd say, "You have 1 minute to start making me a gun, or you'll join your brother." And then I just go back to painting.
Roll an intimidation check.
Roll an intimidation? Damn right I am.
Yeah. You can. Yeah.
Do I get advantage or anything? Just sitting there tanking his hits.
Covered in the blood of his brother.
Yeah.
He's writing on the wall.
This is hell to some degree, so it's not.
I guess that's fair.
Yeah, it's not as scary as you
Nat
think it
20.
is.
That might
Plus 2 is 22. I got a nat 20.
All right, well, you definitely kind of like surprise him a little bit, and you say he like just like kind of cowers and he runs off a little bit.
just sees this clown stop painting ice scream with his brother's blood.
Oh my goodness.
You do hear like a bunch of like scrapes of metal and shit eventually.
Good. I go back to painting. Can I roll
While
for
you're
performance?
Roll a perception check while you're painting.
2.
Okay, never mind. You notice nothing but the
You're
paint
very
right now.
distracted.
No, I'm painting. Are you kidding me? I'm making an ice cream truck.
He's like a
Yeah,
child
you're in the zone right now. So
And hopefully now a Kenku's making me a weapon. So I am very happy.
alrighty.
How's this bike looking?
You get over to where the bike is, and it's not there. It seems to like there's like large wheel tracks that kind of lead off closer down the hall of sorts, but it looks like there's a couple of doorways that lead off in that direction. and you see like you kind of see the bike a bit of a ways off.
I like look over cautiously, like what? And then I start to walk over that way.
Yeah, as you're walking out,
Now I'm curious.
over there you see the acrobat that I can't remember over there before, starting to pull out a couple bags and loading up on the cart with the elephant kind of pulling out one like behind it too.
I look curiously. What's going on
You
here?
just hate looking at this elephant. It looks so stupid. Like, why is it there?
When I notice him there, I go, "Hey, you hungry?" and toss him some food from inside the bag with the food.
Oh, I catch that nimbly actually. I rolled a 19.
Nice. As he's staring at you, he just kind of like doesn't even break a glance. He just catches it with one hand.
And like I do the one hand where I like lift the chainmail up from my face up to around my nose. The lower half of my face is ashen white, but you can see streaks of black, like dark black, almost like the tar they use on like football players. It streaks like the lower part of my face.
He's just straight road warrior.
I'm not really paying attention to your face, honestly.
And I'm just munching and whatever you threw at me as I like hold up the chainmail to like up around my nose.
It seems
And I'm
like
just
standard
watching.
rations as you eat it, but it's just
Delicious.
It just tastes bad. It tastes really bad. Like just
Is it an
like
old
tastes,
ration?
it doesn't seem like the food is bad. It just tastes like ash and ass and just like nothing.
Like take a couple bites, right, and pull out, and then like look at it. Does it look odd?
No, it seems normal, and like you feel like it's like regular food, but it's just something seems.
So
just
do the
it's just
smell of
awful.
the cautious second bite?
The smell seems normal, and when you bite it, it just tastes awful. But you can still eat it.
Tiny girl, food is terrible.
Really? I grab some out and take a bite.
Yeah, you eat it, and it seems like normal food, like normal rations. But when you start to eat it, and the flavor hits you, it just doesn't taste good at all. It just tastes like it just is ash.
I continue to eat it, by the way.
I spit it out and throw it on the ground. Oh, gross.
Yeah, you eat it, and it's just normal. It just tastes like normal food, but it's just awful. Just every step of the way. It just tastes
And I smile and I make some kind of like raiding village joke, like, "Oh, newbie, never raped."
Well, I like keep spitting until the taste is gone, and then I go like, "Well, I guess I'm not eating any of that."
The elephant kind of comes up behind you, and she's like, I think I remember.
I'll happily take the sack.
The food here is awful. Everywhere we go, you can't escape it.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah, I'll happily take the sack, throw it over my shoulder, and then
yeah, sure, I'll throw it at you.
What else you got?
Do you have any? I'm looking for weapons. I think I could really use some to, get through this thing, but I don't know where to find any. Any ideas?
I look around. Are there weapons?
You look around and roll perception check.
7. Let's keep it on par.
It looks to be a number of weapons in the bags that she's brought out on her vehicle, but there doesn't seem to be much.
Wisdom too, by the way.
It doesn't look like there's quite many in the way of like usable weapons, aside from a few what looks to be bigger chunks of metal. You do what looks to be like see chunks of like larger nozzles and could be like weapons for vehicles perhaps, but nothing quite for a person to use, aside from what's in the bags that she's kind of pulled out. It seems to be pretty much like your starter weapons.
Starter weapons?
Yeah, but they're silvered.
See, I probably have a silvered warhammer. I don't have like super I don't care about magic and stuff.
Yeah.
I have a jagged piece of metal for my sword.
It's the way Page Church is.
Surprisingly, there looks like there is
it's
somewhat
creating-
like your
creating
style of weapon, but like
back
completely
to
silver.
church. It's very Viking.
There's one weapon of everyone's favorite style and size.
Really? There's a giant
Yes.
silvered machine gun? Because that's all Sweet Tooth wants.
No, machete. You found the parts for a gun. Swords, and Sarah found parts for a gun.
Yeah, probably like peering through the bag, looking around. Well, I would maybe, I don't know, the Warhammer would stick out a little bit to me.
Yeah, there's a silver warhammer edge on there.
Yeah, if you want this, it's yours, but
bedroll camping
You'd be like
stuff.
peeking up, and it would be like a big guy kind of standing on his toes, like looking like he's peering, but trying not to.
like peering into the bag.
Yeah, kind of peering into the bag.
I just
As
shrug
they-
and say, if there's something in here you want, you can have it.
Like I don't know, if I saw the Warhammer, I'd like kind of like look. You don't want, I take.
Yeah, it's yours. Go for it. I'm not a Warhammer kind of girl.
He grabs his other off his side, like waits in his hand, waits the other one, and then just chucks his like regardlessly to the side, and like clings this one to the side of him.
If the clown wants any of these, let me know. I'm kind of scared of him, so yeah, maybe don't send him over here.
And
Maybe you take and I bring back.
While you're doing that, you see this bird has pulled up a couple of different weapons of different sizes and swords, and there's looks to be what you would probably be able to identify as like a flamethrower of sorts. You also notice like
back?
So wait,
no,
you're talking to me?
That looks like it could have
No.
fixed to the vehicle.
You're talking to me.
Yes,
Yeah.
you see the bird kind of help drag up from like chains and like straps and.
I would look at the bird and be like, does it work?
Yeah, it works. The bird's girl. Yeah, whatever.
And then I would shut his beak with my hand and say, then why isn't it being attached? And then I'd let go of the beak.
Working. I fix.
And then all I say is, you better hurry. I'm getting impatient.
Having you help.
I go over to the bird, and as he puts it like on the car, I just use mending. And just like literally just mend it to the car.
It's takes a little bit of sorts, but you kind of do get it kind of like of sorts. You get it essentially fixed to the metal.
I
But a lot
imagine
of
his
the
mending
wiring
is like
goes-
welding. Not like some of it's like fixing wires, but I imagine most of his mending is literally like forcing things onto things, just like a welder.
That does seem likely.
Yeah, to some degree.
Just
It's like a smaller version though. It's not like it's like a quick modified version that's supposed to mainly fix like engines and stuff, like small repairs we'd say.
Mhm.
So it can fix some things,
yeah.
and it
I'm
does
not-
manage to help. It'll speed up the process.
Yeah.
Of sorts.
I'd imagine he'd just sit there and like pretend like he's welding as like stuff comes out of his hand and like a little bit of fire and just like slowly moving his hand across. You know, it doesn't take 5 seconds. It would take
While
a
he's
while.
working on it, he also points out one over there. He says, "Want to spray a forget memories? Oh, good over there." And he points out one that's over there, and he says another one that's a little bit offside. He says, "Screaming lady with magic. Oh, for boss lady is good." And he points out two other kind of like weapon areas that you could probably choose from. It looks like the vehicle can hold one more kind of like space for another weapon.
I look at the Kenku and says, and I just go, and I just
He's still fixing this current one while he's saying this too.
I look at the Kenku, I get him to look at me, and I just go, I put my hands like this, and I go, bang, 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 bang. And then I look
can't see online because I'm not looking at the Twitch chat.
oh, sorry. Just like holding like, you know, looks like he's holding a gun and going bang, bang, bang. And then he goes, where?
Mimic firing rifle.
Yeah, exactly.
Not many. Haven't seen in a long time. Broken pieces go.
I show him the one that I fixed, and I point him to the one piece I'm missing, and saying, just need that.
Good cars. Mechanic. Not so good.
Infuriated and almost about to rage, I walk away, looking for a small part to fix into my newly made gun, so I can actually use it. Because any more talking to that thing, I'm about to chop off its fucking head.
He's working on getting
You're
the
so
flamethrower
impatient.
attached.
I'm Sweet Tooth. If you ever play Twisted Metal, he doesn't wait.
Well, you guys kind of see Sweet Tooth coming down the way, looking through metal scraps, trying to find a tiny piece of metal that he can't quite find. But Sarah probably has it in her bag. She'd like to help him out.
Not really. The big guy suggested a good method, so I'm gonna root through the bag of weapons and grab a bunch of daggers and a rapier, and then throw the bag over to him and be like, "Here you go. The rest is for you guys."
Yeah, you find like 4 daggers and 1 rapier.
Perfect.
So I look through the bag she tossed. Do I roll perception?
You're kind of looking through the scrap right now.
Yeah, I got this bag.
Yeah, you're not very close to us, I don't think.
Yeah, you're like.
I'm
20,
probably
30 feet off.
munching
You haven't quite
another one
noticed
of
them.
the ashy rations.
Ashy rations. Perfect.
Wait, would I see them though?
Roll a perception check. You're looking for a little tiny piece of metal right now, and you're frustrated as fuck.
And then I'd look around, probably
17?
disinterested. And then, like, offhandedly, girl, want to ride with us?
I'm kind of scared of the clown.
Do I hear that?
Clown, not
Roll
scared.
perception to see if you notice them. Yeah.
I rolled a 17. You want me to roll another perception?
I didn't hear you. I was you do kind of notice the bike over there, but you're a little too far away to hear the conversation that they got going on. You see the bag. The bike has like a number of bags that are kind of loaded up.
I'd rifle through them for a small part for my gun.
You're like 40 feet away.
I'd go over there to rifle through them.
Okay. They're still talking, but yes.
So, yeah, clown like all clowns, just murder.
Exactly.
You point in the direction, it's all okay.
Maybe save a spot for me, and if I decide that I don't want to be on my own, I'll come join you guys.
We got spot for 3, otherwise I make bird sit.
Okay. That seems like a bad idea. I don't think they want to come.
He shrugs, no choice. As he turns offhandedly and begins to walk away, and he salutes you as he walks away, eating this ashy ration with 2 sacks over his shoulder.
You turn around.
Well, I'm glad you like
She's walking over.
Clown looks, oh, clown. Food? Tastes like shit. Weapons? Also like shit. He holds out both of his hands with these 2 sacks.
I look at
with
this
like
Goliath.
a ration in his mouth and his chainmail kind of like over his face.
I look at this Goliath and I don't say anything, and I show him the rifle, and I look and say, "I'm looking for a part."
I upend the bag in front of him onto the floor.
I look for a part for my gun to finish it.
You see Sarah kind of.
And then I shrug and I point, and then I continue to walk back towards the vehicle, munching these
What
rations.
do you
This
want to look
bag
for
on my
before the
shoulder.
part?
I want to fix the gun. What I need to fix it. He said there was one small part missing, so I imagine I
Yeah,
know what that
I know.
part
Where
is.
do you want to look for it? There's a bike there with a number of bags on it. Sarah's just kind of.
Well, I literally just
probably
put
no
the
offense
bag
that you hate
inside
that you
the
just can't stand looking at.
I would do it in the pile of tools
Oh,
that
okay.
was just dropped in front of me.
Yeah, I just
I didn't-
upended
I
the
didn't-
bag in front of him, and then
I
dropped
didn't
the
see
bag
that.
and walked past him, munching these rations.
Where else am I looking?
So you just hear this clatter of metal as it hits the floor.
Roll investigation check.
Investigation?
Mm.
What is my investigation? Okay, +2 is fine. I rolled a 10.
It takes you a bit of a minute because everything looks really dusty and dirty, and like it's kind of hard to see because everything's kind of ashy here too. And you're there looking for a minute through like scrapping through a couple of different things, but you find it eventually.
Cool.
I reckon.
What kind of firearm did I finish? Or did I
So
make?
just a pistol.
Damn it!
All right, I'm gonna go through the bag of weird metal parts I have and see if I can fit them together and make something.
Okay, yeah, go for it.
Do you want me to
Do you have any tool proficiencies?
painter's tools?
That's not going to help you here.
I didn't think so.
Alrighty, just roll an intelligence check.
20? Not natural.
While this guy is bumbling around looking on the ground for a little firing pin, you decide to open up this bag. You start to fiddle with it. It looks like some of it looks like it could fold into like a long tube of sorts, and it looks like it could be. It's a little beyond kind of your sorts because you're not quite familiar with the technology of sorts, but you do manage to puzzle piece a good chunk of it together. But you feel like there's stuff missing to it, of sorts.
Don't really know what to do about this.
I rolled a 16 on perception to see if I see her doing this.
I mean, you find your firing pin and you put it in your gun, and then you stand up, and yeah, she's.
Do I know what she's
like,
making?
Blinking and like metalish objects, but you don't really see inside the bag.
But do I?
She's not doing it. She's not doing it out of the bag. She's kind of doing it in the bag. But...
Can I see what she's doing or not?
Are you gonna go over, just like stare at the bag and look down her shoulder?
Well, I want to see what she's doing because in case she's making.
That sounds like yes. So
yes.
Roll an investigation check.
21.
Yeah, you get really close in front of Sarah's face and immediately look down and like you're like 5 feet from her and like look down into the bag and you notice there's a bunch of metal parts. There, you feel this clown just casually, silently walk up and look down into the bag while standing beside you, the closest he's ever been to you before.
I glare at him.
The question is, do
kind
I
of like floating off behind you guys, staring at like this awkward moment?
Do I know what she's making, or do I know? Can I figure out what she's doing?
Well, let me intelligence check.
Well, I'm an artist. I'm an artificer, shouldn't I?
I know, but it's not all the pieces together. There's like it looks like it could, but
intelligence check.
Intelligence check. It's not like it's a high DC.
Another 21. I rolled two 19s in a row.
Easily. You know what it does. You know, it looks like it could be the parts to possibly turn your pistol into it could be like a longer ranged like rifle of sorts, like extending the tube. It's not like a typical pistol. As
soon as I recognize it's a bigger gun, I grab the bag out of her hand and say, "Don't fiddle with that. You're gonna break it."
I stand up and glare at him and say, "That's mine."
Nice check to see if you can take it from her. It's 32, Sarah, if you can hold on to it.
What am I rolling?
Strength.
Nat 20 plus my bonuses is 30.
Well, I got 5, so...
Yeah, easily. Just rip it right out of her hand. Elephant's like, that's not very nice.
I then look, as soon as the elephant says that, I look at the elephant and say, "The only reason I don't kill her for it is because she looks like my daughter." And then I walk away. With the bag.
Oh, well then. I guess I'm back to looking for a weapon.
I mean, you just saw what's-his-face lead off with the other weapon bag that you had, so...
I mean, probably looking off in the direction, there's this pile of weapons and tools lying on the ground.
Yeah.
No, I'm looking for some sort of ranged weapon. All I have right now are daggers and a rapier, and there was nothing else like that in the bag of weapons, was there?
Oh.
You could. There looks like there's like crossbows and hand crossbows.
Do you say that you're looking for a ranged weapon?
But there's a short bow.
I'll pick up a hand crossbow.
Okay, yeah.
Are there bolts for it too?
There are silver bolts for 40.
Okay, I'll pick those up. I mean, I would still like some sort of gun.
Looks like there's a gun in the bag, unfortunately. It's like all the pieces have been stolen by the clown.
You know, you could ride with us if you wanted to use a gun. I need a flamethrower. I could always do it myself, but I've always been more of a shooting kind of guy.
I look at him and I say, "I don't know."
You don't see a face, by the way. There's literally a clown mask on him, so you never see his face. It's just always this smiling
The top of
mask.
his head is like burning.
Yeah.
So neither of us don't really see our face.
Yeah, you just see this mask, and so you see this head like tilt with this mask, and he goes, "Like I said, you remind me of my daughter, and of all the people." And then I say, real close, "I killed my family, except my daughter."
Oh, why not your daughter?
He doesn't say anything, and you just see kind of his hair ignite on fire, and he turns around and walks away.
Wait, I have one question for you.
He stops.
Are you going to eat me?
He looks at you, and he cocks his head, and he picks up like what looks like crumbs of food, and shoves it into his mask, and it just falls down. And then he shakes his head, and just kind of walks away, and you hear him mutter, "Idiot."
Oh, okay, that's not so bad.
Whatever got in your face or gums was just terrible. Just the worst you
Well, it doesn't. I have a mask on, right? So it doesn't actually.
Well, it's still kind of like enough to breathe.
Yeah.
All right, then I'll grab the elephant and I'll follow them.
The elephant follows along. Are you bringing the bicycle with you?
Standing proudly in front of this thing with my hands on my hips like the hero pose, and just beaming it like giant beast in front of me.
Yeah, you get there and it looks like the Kenku has finished getting the flamethrower kind of hooked up, and it looks like there's also like he's kind of pulled out one of the sides. There looks like there's a broken kind of harpoon that's kind of like he's kind of working on. He's managed to fix up.
Is he working double time? I imagine he's working pretty fast at this point.
He is. He's got the thing pretty much working at this point. He's just fixing the last bit of it. You guys noticed that as you guys have been walking around, you've noticed that there's been a couple little red pokes that like little flashes that popped in the corner and then disappeared whenever you look that direction. You kind of have played it off for now, but you've definitely seen it so many times at this point that you're just like, what is going on? And you start to notice there's these little creatures that have been watching you guys, that you guys have been kind of doing this stuff. They're just kind of hanging around. They're not really doing anything.
Did it say ice?
I'm gonna walk up to the two guys and I'm gonna say, you should really let me drive. I'm really good with vehicles.
While she's doing that, I'm going to use one of my artificer abilities. Use my Tinker's tools, and I can make anything make a sound. Is one of my actions. It has an auditory.
Yeah, you gotta pick a tiny object for that.
So yeah, I'm gonna.
My response to her is I grunt loudly and I hold out one single fist and I just stare at her.
I'm gonna pick a nice little hood ornament that I'm gonna put on the top, I'm gonna take this tiny little thing that I find, this piece of metal that I'm gonna shape into an ornament, and I'm gonna make it play the theme music for Ice Cream Trucks, and I'm gonna stick it on top of the car.
Oh my goodness!
So it's always going da 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 da.
And no, I look at her and I'm like, and I hold out my fist again and I begin to shake it.
The bird squawks from here. He says, I know, and then runs away.
As someone who is a member of a band and would automatically think this, I give you a fist bump.
And then I look at her awkwardly and I slowly change my hand to paper and I put my hand over her hand. You lose, I drive.
No, seriously, you guys should let me drive. I'm really good at it.
Do I hear that? Do I hear them talking?
Yeah, you also hear a bit of metal scraping as the bird that ran away quickly. It seems to be dragging back what looks to be like this little square box of sorts.
As soon as I hear her say, "Really, I should drive," I just say offhandedly but a bit loud, "Fight for it." And I throw one of my hand axes between both of them.
You see me covering her hand like paper covers rock. I might be evil, but I'm lawful.
I just shrug and I say, I'm much better at driving than I am at operating a flamethrower. We will have a better chance if we let everyone do what they're best at.
Notice there's also kind of like a harpoon that's like a
I start
large-
laughing.
that's
Who
protecting
said you're
it.
operating the flamethrower?
You did a minute ago.
This bird starts to also start like fixing what looks to be
Angry
like a
clown
larger kind of
wants you
speaker
to take
speaker
Hooker.
box near the back of the car.
Actually,
Angry Clown wants what, Jeremy?
I should take the harpoon because I get automatically
Girl
reload
to
it.
take Hook.
No, I should probably take the harpoon because I can
Clown
reload
wants
it.
Fire Girl for Hook.
No, girl is best at driving. You go do something else.
No good for shoot.
You're not good at shooting?
Mm.
Neither am I.
We both turn, I think, awkwardly and look at Clown.
Can I, when they do that, can I like jerry rig so the harpoon and the flamethrower is controlled by one of each of my hands?
No, they're separated a good distance away.
Damn it! And then I look at them. I look at them after realizing that.
The song that you pick that you want to go starts to get a little bit louder as this bird starts to kind of like connect it a little bit to the little ornament that you have.
Perfect.
But you notice there's also a button on it that's like a big red kind of like thing that you could press, and it says like, well, it looks like it says 8 hours on the front of it.
I would look and be like, I'd look at you guys and be like, hurry up and decide.
You start to hear
The ice cream
kind of
truck
sound that's
is
going
ready.
around inside the garage.
The ice
It has
cream.
like a red cap. You
I
start to see
turn
these
and
little red hats pull,
I
like
look
shaking
at
around.
Girl, and I just nudge her and I say, raise hand. Clown for Hook, and I raise my hand.
I raise my hand.
Somebody drive. Somebody drive.
All right,
Oh,
I'm
no.
sitting in the driver's seat. I have a key yet, and I don't think you grabbed
You
your
go
key,
to the driver's
Jeremy.
seat, I
So
grab you by the collar, and I slowly pull you back. No, girl for fire.
no, you fire. I am the best driver. Now get in the back. I will sing to him again if I need to.
Look, guys, we can all share. It could be all fun and games. We don't have to worry about it too much.
Can I grab the elephant and tell him to get in the flamethrower
Bastard
seat?
rides shotgun on
Yeah,
all.
that's me.
I wouldn't be violent. I wouldn't be violent. I would just gently grab the elephant and put him in the flamethrower seat and say, we don't have time. You control the fire. I'll take the harpoon.
You look at him and you notice he doesn't really seem to have like an ability to operate this thing. The way
I don't care.
Clown,
Do I care? No. I walk over to the
I'm just-
harpoon.
clown truck, elephant with fire.
I think the elephant starts to kind of
No,
like
clown.
fly.
Elephant goes on other side of fire. Wrong.
No, the elephant stays with me, and I pick up the elephant.
You were pretty utterly repulsed as you picked up this elephant because it was just like too nice and too like holy.
Deal breaker. Girl wants to drive, then bastard get elephant.
You're hearing this alarm sound going off in the background as all these little red caps seem
Can
to
I
start
shoot the
ignoring it.
alarm?
I'm very intent.
moving the truck.
Can I?
The
Sh-
truck
I'm also used
starts to move in like a weird direction.
Can I
like,
start
the
shooting?
things are picking it up.
Can I just start blasting them while they're talking?
Oh my god.
Like I'm just gonna blast the red caps. If
I
they're
immediately-
not paying attention,
Once he
I'm just gonna
starts
start
blasting,
shooting them.
I grab her by the collar, I pull her behind me, and I go to get into the vehicle.
You notice like the red caps have been watching this whole time, but you can certainly try. There's a lot of them that are slowly moving the vehicle while this alarm is going
Are
on.
you gonna make me do something to you?
Can I shoot them while this is happening, Andrew? I'm on the vehicle.
You want to start shooting red caps?
I would just start shooting them.
Go for it.
I think you forgot who I am so far. So far, exactly. This character is played out so good. Like I haven't even told you guys my trait, but like they worked so good.
I rolled a 14 plus 2 to hit, so 16.
That one doesn't hit. Does he miss?
Was he hitting?
Trying to shoot these. You look out the sides. You hear this giant go off. You see a bunch of these little tiny red like capped individuals that are slowly moving the truck down this pathway that you guys were walking around looking for scrap. As this red alarm is going off, kind of in the background.
I'm gonna use my feet, because I'm a gunner. I can use
Wait,
my.
somebody's stealing our truck?
I can fire my weapon twice.
It looks like the truck is being moved as this alarm is going off.
Yeah, I can fire my weapon twice, Andrew. So I'm gonna attack again.
Okay.
So with girl still in my hand, I begin to chase.
My second attack also misses. By the way, just as a question, Andrew, can I turn
Yes.
the harpoon into a magical cannon?
And you turn what?
Can I use because as an artillerist, I can turn something into a magical cannon?
You could probably put that on top of your vehicle swords if you wanted to.
Well, I was thinking about using the harpoon and then turning it into a magical cannon as well, like changing it since I'm just sitting there.
It's not. You kind of make a magical cannon. You don't really make a cannon magical.
Okay, I see what you mean. So I could put a magical cannon on top. I just want it around me so I can have two. I can have a harpoon in one hand and a magical cannon
you
in the
could
other.
probably put one in there. It's just it's a little tight. Looks like those areas were made spaced with windows specifically to leave space for like these weapons to aim out of, where the rest of the windows are kind of tight bars.
All right.
So like if you had something inside, you probably maxed out glare.
Well, are you guys doing anything? Because I'm about to go rage
I
cage
think so
on
they're
this.
playing rock paper scissors.
Yeah, we were going to.
Wait, I'm in the car.
I'm in the truck with girl in my hand.
Can I just
You're
climb?
you're in the truck.
Yeah.
You're in the truck.
Can I go?
We're in the truck? Oh.
Yeah, I thought you guys were in the truck doing rock paper scissors.
Okay.
I'm
Yeah,
in the
no,
truck.
no. We were outside arguing who was going to drive.
Okay,
I
well
was
then
in
yes,
the
you see
driver's
this.
seat and then he pulled
So-
me out.
But I'm
There was this red
inside.
alarm sound that was going off as you guys tried to play rock paper scissors. The driver's seat is inside. It's not like a car. It's like it's
Yeah.
a kind of big open area with a chair and like nozzles.
So
and...
since
Yeah,
I'm
yeah. So I would
inside,
imagine the door
Pulled me
opened and
out.
she went to go inside, and I grabbed her and pulled her out. So now the door's wide open, and we're playing
Yeah,
rock
well,
paper.
the inside just leads to inside. There isn't like an inside section for the driver, and they're all kind of in the
Yeah, like the giant cage, right? And she
Yeah.
went to go in first. I just want to be the first one in the vehicle too, and I'm gonna drive.
Okay, well,
No,
Sweet
you're not
Tooth is
gonna
already
drive.
in
well,
the
Sweet Tooth has been in the vehicle the whole
No,
time.
no. I'm Bane's black bastard. I don't think you understand.
Sweet Tooth's been in the vehicle the entire
Sweet Tooth's
time.
the vehicles were,
Like the Black Hand and like a whole
I
bunch
have-
of his cults are like
I have vehicle proficiency.
Khaled.
There it goes. So
You have
yeah,
vehicle
well,
proficiency?
Yeah, yeah, I do.
I'm really good with horses, and I'm just picturing this as my horse.
He actually,
I-
she actually has
I-
vehicle
I-
proficiency
She
though.
also like has brought down. She walked down with the bike, I think, right, Sarah?
What?
Did you bring the bike with you when you came down back to this vehicle?
No, I didn't.
You left the
Because
bike.
if we're chasing the truck too, I would be like, "Oh, girl drives," and I throw girl at the truck, and then
Okay.
I climb it, like jump onto the truck, and I climb
Okay,
on.
so make a dex check for me, Sarah.
I'd say advantage if
And a
I'm
strength check.
throwing her.
Well, we'll see how
Or-
far your strength check
Yeah,
goes.
okay.
And if you can even land it.
Dex check 18.
19 on my
No,
strength.
wait.
Nice, okay.
Yeah, okay. 18.
Okay,
Yeah,
so yeah,
for-
you managed to
like
get
my-
that good like jump right at the staircase to like the door, so you jump in and you kind of grab him there pretty quick. It's not too far away from you, Jeremy. It's like 10 feet.
And then I'll just run and like climb on the side.
Yeah,
Climb
you
inside.
and jump up on. You see all these little like, as you guys were outside, you watched all these like little red hat people like pretty much like start like coming out of the different scrap as this red alarm started going off and flashing.
Cat people, like little gnomes.
Yeah, like they're kind of like little gnomes, but they have like these red kind of like caps around their heads, but their eyes are
Dark
peering out.
gnomes?
Not so much like gnomes. They look skinnier, and they have like little tiny blades, like little scythes and such, and little hammers. And they seem to be moving. Like you hear like a gate kind of shifting way off as you guys are getting in the car. It's like as a loud like kind
Is
of sound.
Jeremy in the car now?
He just jumped in.
So as he's getting
as
in,
you shot one of the things.
as he's getting in, and I see him, I would look at him and smile behind my mask, very big. You'd almost see my cheekbones grin a little, and I'd point to the other side and say, "Burn them."
And I would shrug. Ma wanted to drive. Bane likes fire. Get on.
All right, so I get in and I use the key thing, whatever I need to do with it, and I start up the truck.
Yeah, so when you get into it's not so much a key. You pull out this like giant like black metal coin. And as you've been holding on to this, it weighed really heavy in your pocket, and it didn't really like bother you too much until now when you pull it out and you look at it, and you hear like the souls of someone screaming inside of this thing as you look at it, and you feel
Lovely.
like a whole person is inside of this coin,
That's unfortunate.
and they feel like they're not happy about what you're about to do, and you feel like a cry is almost out for like, please no, like don't. And it's just kind of distant in your mind as you put the coin into this little like black slot, and it falls down. You hear this, and like this
I'm
little bit of
sorry.
fire burns up from the inside, and you hear kind of out in the distance as the car kind of jumps up.
Another soul for the pit.
Roll an arcane
Alright.
check for me to see if you understand. No, for Jeremy, as he says that, to see if he understands a bit of this vehicle.
That is a. What do you want me to roll?
Arcane.
Arcane or religion? I
Arcane.
rolled a 19. Yeah,
19?
arcane and religion. I'm a terrible paladin in that sense.
You kind of feel
I
like
don't know about my god. I just love him.
you
I have
feel
a
like that,
paladin who has -1 to
like
religion.
that soul might have been damned in more than just one way.
I just on the idea of the soul coin. Spend it. Their fault.
Yeah, it's too funny. Sarah, a bit of a stain on her soul as she sends a soul to Razor, essentially.
I mean, I assumed as much.
This vehicle starts up, and the red caps start to go, oh, and they start to shift as they let the vehicle go, and you start to progress forward. And you need to roll a dex check for me if you can to see if you can kind of figure out how to alternate this vehicle a little bit.
Unnatural 20.
Oh yeah, easily. You feel some of the shifter, like some of the pulleys, and this one's for turning this direction, one's for turning another direction, and
Has this
you easily
been, like-
managed to turn this off into a pathway.
Has this
Sorry,
been like 6 or 7 seconds of her trying to figure out the vehicle?
I'd say about that, like maybe 10 seconds.
So about at the 10-second mark, I would yell, "Put your foot to the ground and go!"
There's no pedal. You look-
Kick the horse. Kick the
and
horse.
and what she would see if she looked back is me firing multiple harpoons. Harpoons just magically appearing inside the harpoon gun as I'm just holding this thing and just firing harpoons.
So roll a couple of attacks. After a
will.
while, you notice that they're not holding on to you anymore, and you can't turn your weapon that far back that way.
8, oh no, so the first one was 8, the next one was 13,
That one misses.
and 16.
That one hits.
None of them hit. Whatever, I'm firing. I don't have to reload this thing, so I'm just firing harpoons as I go.
Clown, my red hat. You shoot red hat, I burn.
I'm just laughing. All you hear is the most maniacal clown laughter ever.
Sarah it looks like she's leading what appears to be like a giant
Kinda
kind of like gate opener.
Peeking through the hole. Girl, catch a red hats.
Yeah, as I'm driving towards whatever opening I can see, I'm trying
You're
to
gonna
run
drive
over as many
towards
of
the
them as
opening.
possible. Yes.
All right, so yeah, easy enough. You don't really need to roll much protection. You've kind of gotten the handle of this vehicle already. You drive right out of the cave to some degree, but as you come out to this kind of like smaller area. It looks like an enclosed kind of like compound of some sorts, and you look up to this like large kind of burning sky with all this like fire everywhere, and like you see a couple of creatures in the distance, and this large like set of like they're like look like large spikes kind of moving through the air. There's like sets of 3 of these things just slowly gliding through the air. You
Nice.
see a couple of like burning tornadoes way in the distance, and you as you kind of come out, you hear like, "Welcome to Mad Maggie's compound. I see you figured out the vehicle. It's about time. My goodness, you kids are slow." You see her kind of like up on top of this.
As soon
kind
as
of,
she
like,
says that, I would say, "Blame your help."
Well, they're a little bit slow. They're the best at what they can do. Well, we're about to get the race on the go. You go head out that way. You'll notice there's a big old circle up there, and you'll see some other different racers of sorts and other people on vehicles. Pretty much, you're gonna kill them all and don't die, and you'll make me some money. And when we come back, we'll talk about Lulu. There, she's a real precious one. I want to know more about her.
Oh, no, Lulu belongs to girl. Girl owes me Lulu.
You
I
belong to
don't
me
owe
there.
you anything.
So
You
you
drive.
are me.
Lulu to Bane.
No, I'm not giving Lulu to Bane.
No, Bastard will claim Lulu for Bane, one way or another.
No, Lulu is mine.
Girl, thanks.
Look, kids, you
Girl
all work
does.
for me, and I don't own you right now. And if you forget that, I don't think you'll be keeping that vehicle.
And all
for
you
long.
guys hear in the background is do 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 do
It's war song of your people.
I look and I'm just laughing. I'm like, it's the last song many people heard. Ha, ha, ha.
It's a song of fear.
Yes, so much fear.
I just shake my head and I say, no, no, just him.
No, song of fear. And I try to
Oh
the
god.
vehicle.
I like glance back
Whatever,
at him.
Baylor.
I like glance back and I'm like, no, song of candy.
Yes, as soon as she says that, I'm like, yeah. I used to give out lots of candy to all my daughter's friends.
Yes.
And then as soon as I say daughter's friends, I show my arm and there's just slashes and there's like 50 of them. It's like, each one was precious.
So I understand why you're in hell, but why am I?
Girl doesn't know.
All of a sudden, my voice changes to like a more
I
high
pointed-
pitched. Well, isn't it obvious? You enticed millions of little kids into buying horrible CDs. You're worse than both of us. And then I go back to my
Maybe
gruff
we're
voice.
horrible.
I mean, God, I don't know why you're here.
I pointed at your outfit. That's my response. Girl doesn't know.
I even look at her and go, I've murdered over 100 people. You affected millions with your horrible music. Who's the
Maybe
real
it's
villain
music.
here?
Hello. Millions of people listen to it. They must have liked something.
Yeah.
Girl even makes my god Bane jealous.
I nod at that.
Yes, maybe she's the worst of them all, but that's why you all are mine. Now get your asses out there and kill some of those other ones.
As you finish saying
We
that,
go.
I
We kill.
she convinced the old lady to give her the elephant. She must be evil.
I just wanted the elephant, okay?
You know what? At that, I do divine sense good or evil in the area.
Okay. You do.
I want to know is girl good or evil?
Let me check it.
It'll show me everybody, but
It's been so long since how divine sense does.
technically, Sarah, that's you too.
Yeah.
What do I do?
I want to know if you're good or evil. What alignment?
Are you
Oh.
doing? Are you just doing divine sense?
Yeah.
Okay. You know the location of these celestial fiend and know the type of who's being present.
I'm using specifically good and evil.
within the radiance. Okay. Well, I mean, you can tell celestials.
So I guess good. Good. I want to use good because I know evil would overwhelm me where I'm at. So I'm going to use divine sense good. So if any good creatures show up,
I'm good.
they'll glow to my sight. If
Yeah.
you're good, you'll glow to my sight.
I'm glowing.
The elephant blinds you, but Sarah kind of like a little bit, not like she's giving kind of like.
She's a pop star. She's probably selfish and only thinks of herself, which is why
I'm
she's
not a
so
pop
good.
Star. I'm a rock star.
I immediately look at clown. Elephant evil makes girl corrupted.
When you look at the clown, You don't even see his black hair. You just see
Like,
a
I'm the
void.
nicest elephant ever. What do you mean, sir?
You just see a
No.
void of blackness.
Black stain cross over the girl, I see.
Oh,
What?
but we could be best friends. You just need to give us a chance, sir.
As you're saying this, I
I've
yell
already
back to
said
the
to
elephant.
you
Is
now that you're one
wonderful.
of us.
Leave her alone.
I have eyes. Oh,
I look at the elephant. Can you bring me my daughter?
No, I don't know if I could do that. I could bring you to somebody's daughter,
Then be
perhaps.
quiet, or you'll die.
Well, we're in hell right now, so I don't know
tell
if we
you.
can die again.
elephant is full of lies and deceits.
I look at the Goliath and say, they really think they can't die here.
I think it would look tasty on fire.
Don't touch the elephant.
Um,
As you guys are driving out of the compound, you
Can I-
start to kind of see like a really like just torn hellscape, different jagged rocks and kind of like mountains kind of peek out the side. You do see a number of like black crag rock formations that seem to do like almost a circle around the compound of sorts that go out. It's hard to really tell how far, but
Is there-
at first it seems close and then it seems far away.
is there a hatch to the top of this thing?
There looks like there kind of is. Like, looks like the metal isn't quite made to be a hatch, but it looks like it could be separated of sorts.
I look at the Goliath and say, hey, push me up there. I have an idea.
How do feet smell?
I look at him and I just cock my head because he can't see my face. I just cock my head.
I just washed these hands. They're covered in blood, by the way.
Mine are covered in blood too. And then I would look at him and just like rub my feet in blood. That's better.
I like lean over and I sniff. How does this clown smell?
He smells pretty dirty. He smells pretty rusty. A little bit of grease, like oil grease, and maybe some burnt arm.
He'd probably smell like dead Kenku, as if I just used one to paint the side of the car.
I mean, death smells all the same for a cultist of Bane. Let's just say.
Yes,
A little
but
bit.
clown looks sticky. Not into those kind of things. I beat things smaller than me. I don't have weird. No.
I just want on the roof.
We're not one of those cults.
Can I get on the roof on my own?
Okay, so roll a strength check for me.
Yes.
Try to pull the plates apart.
Jeremy, I don't tell you often enough that I'm very glad I met you and I appreciate you as a human being.
17 plus... Wait, athletics?
Strength check, but
Strength or athletics?
no athletics, just regular strength.
Well, then it's 20.
You're separating the plates, so it's 20.
Unnatural
Okay.
20.
I'm also going to need Jeremy. How close are you to him? Are you like right by him right now?
I'm sitting in the other chair in the flame.
Yeah, he's on the other
Oh,
side.
okay, I moved.
Like
Okay.
10 feet, maybe, right?
Okay, well, I need you to do a dex save for me, John.
Who?
You. I need you to do a dex save for me, please. That's this black,
11.
kind of like oozy liquid, kind of like.
Wait, can I see
dripping
what's
down.
coming? Can I see it?
It's kind of like splashes of sorts.
Is it in
It's
front of
more-
me? Is it in front of me or behind me?
It's not. It's so much. It's more above you. It's not quite in your view, I'd say. I'm afraid you don't have advantage on it.
Things I can see. Can I see it?
Not quite.
Okay. Why wouldn't I see something I'm pushing open?
It's a big, large sheet of metal that spreads like across. And this liquid that you're moving is in between the sheets that's coming out and it's moving. It's splashing on your hands.
Fine. I rolled an 11.
Okay. Do you need to do a constitution save for me, sir, as well?
20.
Okay. Not bad. You feel this kind of weird tingling coming over your hands of sorts. I do need you to roll a D100 for me.
I don't have one of those.
Okay. They're still here.
I mean, I have a percentile die. I can do that.
It's a percentile and a D10.
Yeah, percentile and a D10.
Yeah.
45.
45. Okay. Don't quite notice much right away, but your hands kind of feel like they're kind of like burning a little bit. They seem kind of corrosive, like you touch some kind of like maybe some acid or something. It seems a little weird as it starts to like drip and curl down your arms. It starts to leave behind this weird little rash.
Sounds like something I wouldn't care about.
It burns like a lot. Like it's not damaging, but it's like it's irritating as fuck, and it's like distracting. Like it's not just like a little bit; it's a lot, and it's uncomfortable, and it fucking sucks.
This is Sweet Tooth you're talking about. Sounds like there's a lot of
I
shit
know,
that would suck.
which is kind of weird because you think that this wouldn't be a big deal, but it's like you're in hell or something, and this fucking burning your arm is like.
But do I
like
get
it's
to the
corroding your
roof?
skin.
On the outside of the vehicle?
Yes. That's all I'm trying to do.
Well, he's on the inside of the vehicle, and he moved these sheets out of the way as it kind of splashed his hands, and it like is dripping down his arms.
I feel like
it's
I would
black,
see it
it's
about
like-
to drip down on my hands, but we'll move past that.
Because it splashed
If
when
I
you
look
moved
out,
it.
if I look out of the vehicle, like, what the hell is going on?
Do you look out for perception? It doesn't really look much other than the terrible hellscape that you moved. It's like he's kind of like moved something that like squished at the top of the vehicle or something.
I'm like looking up, curious now. Like, clown, okay? Arms look burning.
You don't see me say anything. I'm just trying to get to the top of the damn vehicle.
Oh, okay, roll on.
Maybe clown should stay inside.
You do move the plates and you do open it. You just splash the shit on your arm, and it's just like it really
looks
feels not
safe
good.
inside. Maybe hell stay outside vehicle and sanctuary inside vehicle. I'm just staring at this hole as like this acid splash, like expecting another acid splash any second.
I would look at him.
Maybe even stepping away out from the hole a little bit.
I'd probably
Like-
look at you, look at my arms, and I'd probably laugh, like my deep, angry laugh, and be like, ha 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 ha. And then I'd immediately try to climb back up the hole.
Okay, roll another strength check for me.
Why wouldn't that be athletics?
Yeah, okay, I'll be athletics, sure. Athletics is strength, but with
24.
Yeah, if you have bonuses.
I got +6 to athletics. I want it to be athletics. 24.
That's fair.
So you go to grab up again there. Do you try to? I don't. Do you roll a dex check to try to avoid the liquid if you're trying?
Can I see it this time?
Yeah, you know where it is. It splashed you, and you see it kind of.
Okay, so I get advantage.
This isn't a save. This is a check to try to purposely avoid it or not. If you're not trying to avoid it, then it's your save.
It means it might be a creature attacking you. And you're moving into its like
13 plus 2.
Is this a check or to try to avoid it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Whatever
okay,
you
so
told me to roll, I got 15.
I'm just checking. All right, so you do fairly avoid it. You do pull yourself up to the top. You do notice that there's just like this black kind of like puddle of liquid that's like it's kind of almost materialized. It's not like it's like almost like tar substance, and it looks like it's kind of just like an ooze that's kind of like on the vehicle. It's not. It looks like oil of sorts, but it's not like moving or anything. It's just kind of like sitting there in like a sludge. But when you move to not shut the plates, it looks like it started like changing its like direction, and it starts dripping down into the vehicle a little bit.
Does not sound good.
What you see?
Yeah, you get up there and you kind of look around, and there's this like metal kind of like just tore and fiery hellscape. You see this flame tornado kind of going across, but you do see what looks to be like a wooden kind of structure in the side, and like kind of like almost looks like a larger shack of sorts, but it looks like there's like a bunch of people kind of like there. There's a couple of vehicles off to the side. Looks like it's a bit of ways away, but you're kind of pulling up on it of sorts.
Who are you talking to? Because I'm not paying attention to this.
You.
Oh, I don't see this. No, I don't.
Maybe you should
I'm,
consider.
I'm saying that as you
No.
come out of the vehicle and,
No.
and
Sweet
have the
Tooth has
choice, but
one thing
see
in
the
mind.
surroundings around you.
Sweet Tooth has one thing in mind. He gets on top of the vehicle, he starts building his magical cannon. He's gonna stand up there and shoot. That's all I'm focused on. Like you could I fail perception checks purposely. That's what he's doing.
My point is, you still see this as you come out. You can't not look at the sky as you approach. I'm just, you
can
don't
see
have
the
to look in
sky,
detail
but
at
like
these places or alert anyone. I'm just saying this is what you see passively as you come out there.
okay.
You don't have to act on it. I'm just explaining.
Oh well, it would be like exactly what you did. It would be explaining it to me, and then Sweet Tooth would just automatically go out the other ear because that's not focus. Focus is use tools from the bag that he's got, build magical cannon on top of car because the
You do
cankers were
notice
useless.
that that liquid is starting to kind of drip into the vehicle a fair bit, but it's still like you can still do.
Can I close up the hatch so I'm just standing on top by myself?
Yeah, you totally can.
Well,
As
then
you
I'll
kinda
do
go
that.
down though, you hear the paladin kind of scream like, "You see anything, clone?" Or
I'd not say anything and I'd close the hatch and start building my cannon.
all right.
As the hatch closes, you hear me singing the song of your people. Do 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 do.
Yes! Perfect!
You do notice that like when that drip down,
And
it's
like
still,
the
kind
hatch
of formed,
closes.
it's formed like a bit of a small puddle, kind of like from the hatch there. It's not really doing much. It's just this black kind of like oozy liquid.
Oh, lovely. All right. Well, as
Do
we're
I know
going,
what a
I'm gonna
black
go
pudding
back.
is?
You don't quite have the memories of that. You're a little hazy from your rides in the sticks. It doesn't seem to be sentient. Just to save your mindset a little bit there.
Is it quivering?
No, it looks like a pool of oil kind of. It's not like
Just like a
it's not
pool of
like-
oil? Alright.
Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna yell back at the paladin. Where should I go?
I don't know, but clown is leaking.
What?
As
You
soon
mean
as
honestly?
as soon as my magical cannon is finished, what they
Yeah,
would,
that takes an action.
Yeah, I know.
When you set that up.
That's what I'm saying. As soon as it's done, so what Sarah's character would see is all of a sudden like force bullets, like giant beams of force would blow up right in front of her and shoot up dust. And then if she listened carefully, she would hear behind the music maniacal cackling as she just sees like just a bunch of force bullets go up in the dust as if someone's shooting an invisible cannon in front of her and just laughing maniacally.
Well, at that, I
See-
just shrug and I go, well, I guess we're going right into the thick of it. And I just move the car. I just drive the car forward right into all the
As you're
others.
driving, you see like
Now
this
we
kind
have
of
crazy
wooden,
leaking clown.
You see this wooden kind of like structure of sorts. It's like a shack that you kind of came from a second ago, but like it's hard to tell the distance from it. But it feels like you're approaching on it with this larger tower, and you see a number of other cars that are kind of all placed around it.
Are they like chasing each other and trying to kill each other?
Not quite yet. They're driving around, but that doesn't seem like there's quite a lot of like engagement or action just yet, except for from you guys.
Girl's gonna have to tell Bastard to get Hook. I'm operating two-gun now.
I have to tell what?
I understand what's going on here.
The
Girl
elephant.
is Bastard's eyes.
You have to get the elephant to
Okay.
pilot the hook.
Okay.
And then you probably hear me like run from one side of the vehicle over to the other side of the vehicle. And I guess like I'm looking through the hook too. But
So you want me? I yell back at you. You want me to tell you where to shoot?
tell me get ready.
I am not picking up what you're putting down here, Jeremy.
Speak into English. Why you not talk common?
Bastard says drive.
I'll do that. I keep driving. I drive up close to one of the cars and wait to see what these guys are going to do.
Yeah, as you drive up, you hear this kind of like, because John's just going off,
Well,
you hear this kind of like a kind of sounds from a couple of the vehicles as they start to like swerve out and spread around.
as soon
I
as
think-
one of them gets within 120 feet, I'm shooting them.
Yeah, I'd say you're about within that distance.
I'm just telling you, as soon as they get within 120 feet, she would see the blast get away from the front of the car, and she would just see force blasts on the side of their cars and just more laughing. I was told to kill. That's all he knows now. He's now on top of a car with a cannon. It's kill time.
You look like there's 4 different targets that are there. 2 smaller rides, 1 medium-ish. They're all fairly large looking, but one like car-ish one that you saw before that you were hoping to kind of work on, and then another kind of like truck kind of sized one that looks similar to yours.
Hey man, you know the deal. As soon as one gets within 120 feet, doesn't matter which one, it's getting fucking pelted.
Okay. Yeah, so you could probably take a shot at the.
2 shots. Remember, I get 2 shots.
Do you get 2 attacks?
Gunner, yeah. Gunner feat, man. I get to take an extra shot with any weapon.
This is it a weapon though?
Firearm.
Okay, so this is your Eldritch Cannon is a magical range spell attack, so it doesn't quite fall for that. If it was the harpoon, it would. But because it's your created cannon, I think your cannon can also
on harpoon.
I think your cannon also can operate on stun. I don't think you need to either aim for it. Just so you're aware.
Hold on, let's look at the magic.
Is that the cannon where you gotta fire a spell down it?
Yeah,
No.
it's the archers for artillerists.
Yeah, I think so. So you're technically firing a spell.
Magical cannon.
So you can't fire 2 spells in a round. You can only fire a spell and a cantrip.
Hmm.
So technically, if your
this
cannon
drive
operates
me
off of spells, you'd
fire-
only be able to fire it off a once round. However, if
Does
we
driving
both
me
fire
fire-
spells,
Ability, but you're making a range spell attack. Just that one specifically, because there's different upgrades you can choose from. This is just
yeah. So if it's a ranged spell attack,
So
you
it's-
can only make the one.
So the
probably
magical
round.
cannon is an
one
object. It has an AC of 18. It uses poison or psychic damage.
Robbie, this one's using force damage from what you were saying.
You
But
can
yeah, I know
determine
you're
its
right.
appearance.
It's a range spell attack. Just roll your intelligence modifier.
Yes, it is. Okay.
I've saved a couple spells, by the way.
But
This doesn't count for his spell slots either. It's just a heads up.
No, I know.
no.
So
But
I probably am actually yelling. Actually, the actual thing I probably want to yell to girl is get close.
I'd probably be using the force ballista,
Yeah.
Bastard has plans.
just so we're clear. Just so we're clear, Andrew.
He rubs his hands
I'm going to be
together.
using
Yeah.
the force ballista.
Yeah, totally. So, roll your intelligence spell attack.
So I always forget how to this. It's the problem with being a warlock, is I forget how spell attacks work.
You're rolling your d20 and adding
Yeah. I got an 18.
your 18. Okay, you fire 1, and it looks like as it sees you kind of drive it up, it like swerves out of the way on the first attack. You shoot. You do have ability to get back down if you want. You did close the hatch, but you can continue to stand on top if you want. So like I said, your cannon can operate without you.
No.
They're gonna stay on the roof.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I was just saying you can choose to do which if you want to go back in. Okay. Roll initiative for you guys, and I'm just gonna go a bit lower. If we want, we can hold this to another time, because we are kind of getting a bit late. As we run into the combat with this crazy clown maniacally going.
So is this going to be a really long one shot, or is it going to be a 2-shot? Is that the question?
It might be a 2-shot. Who knows when you'll come back? The hell in the cloud. And the one sad person who's the only good one around the group with the elephant.
I'm glad I have the elephant.
Hey, bastard's good. Everyone else is evil.
That's how it is.
What is your actual alignment? What is your actual
Lawful evil.
alignment?
Lawful evil.
I love it.
It had
Lawful
been,
evil is exactly the kind of alignment that would think they're good, though.
we'll do one.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
more.
He thinks he's good.
yeah,
And one
that's
of his
weird.
ideals is the strong are obligated to take from the weak.
Yeah,
Sarah,
like
which is
Coldbeard.
An ideal of Bane.
Oh, dude, I did my turn wrong, but I'll fix it next time. So you fire the cannon as a bonus action. I could still use my firearm to fire twice.
Yeah, you could. Or a cantrip. Sarah, I'm gonna use your Constitution save.
That's
because
good
it
to
felt
know.
like what you've been driving for is like almost an hour.
I've been driving for an hour?
It feels like it. It doesn't. You could swear it's been like 10 minutes, but your body feels like you've been driving for what's like an hour.
Okay,
Something about this place. is
19.
Awfulness. The fact that you just had to sacrifice someone's soul.
All my allies within 10 feet get +1 on saves.
20.
You shrug. You kind of power on. It's the first time I'm really feeling the dark and depressiveness and just the pure hatred of this place kind of weigh on your shoulders.
I have a question. Does it require both hands to drive this thing? Like, what is the action of driving this?
No, so while the vehicle is operating, it will continue in the direction you're going. You only need to change direction, essentially.
Oh, sweet.
So you can still attack and shoot. As long as you're still at the helm and are able to operate it when you need to do deck saves and things like that, you can still fire and do other things like that from the driver's seat.
Perfect.
You have like a small cage window you can see and shoot out of if you have like a bow or something.
Oh, girl and bastard play musical chairs. Bastard gets to drive after all. For a little while.
Oh, it's still better at driving.
Bastard gets to turn once. Maybe.
Yeah, you guys would like to be the showdown for Destruction Derby. We'll get into that one on the next Sunday, maybe. We shall see.
I was gonna say we've already gone for 2.5 hours. We should maybe put a pause in there and then restart this one shot next time with the ultimate car battles. Because I realized
can come, it means that
I just realized
it might be one of the other drivers.
Jeremy, if I get back in the harpoon seat, I can fire 2 harpoons and then use my bonus action to fire my Eldritch Cannon.
Yeah, and I can flame them. And then
that's why I was asking if you wanted to stay on the roof of the car.
Dude, I didn't understand my abilities, but now I do. Now I do.
Honest, Sarah, I almost compelled dueled you, except for the truck started running away.
I could see that.
I almost compelled dueled you into a fucking.
That was me trying to progress scissors.
Well, thank you all for watching.
If you want to get back in the car, John, we'll do a quick one last roll here.
I will get back in the car, but we'll do that next time.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I'll get back in the car. But still, thank you everyone for watching. We had quite a few people watching today, so thanks you all for watching. Sorry I had nothing better to do. I mean, this was fun. We'll do part 2 next week. Finish up this wild, crazy death derby. Until then, thank you, Insaniac, for leading this whole...
Yes, welcome.
Yes.
I tried this out a little bit once before, and it's kind of helped get...
Creative and insane. The ideal combination.
And I'm on behalf of Sarah Vike over here, Sir Jeremy, and Grease Goblin, who's off somewhere, probably being greasy. And me, C4, thank you all for watching, and I hope you guys had a great time, and we'll see you Wednesday for discussion day, and I would tell you a topic if I knew one already.
Ooh.
The answer is I don't. It's just the answer.
Yeah, the red cat's taking the car, and I was trying to get things pushed a little bit longer. Like, we gotta go.